A chuirde géal bhfuair míle fáilte go dtí Park Brewster an seochan ina Sceathalan don cluiche ceannas seo I Gunday Fermanagh. Ladies and gentlemen, you're very welcome to the Quinn Building Products Senior Football Championship Final live from Brewster Park. This game has been brought to you by Fermanagh GAA TV in cooperation with our broadcast partners NSERC. Joining me to preview this game, we have got Malachy O'Rourke and Henry. Gentlemen, you're very welcome to today's broadcast.
Thank you very much, Kieran.
This game this evening between Derrygonnelly Harps and Ederney St Joseph, Malachy, I'll start off with you. How do you think the teams will prepare for a final, given the restrictions with coronavirus and the topsy-turvy nature we've sort of had throughout our leagues?
Well, I suppose that they'll try to keep things very close to what they always did, and obviously there is restrictions because of COVID, and even the warm-up before the game and everything to do with it is a wee bit different. But they'll be, I suppose particularly Derrygonnelly are well used to dealing with finals. The run-up during the week will be very much the same. They'll be coming in, they'll have a well-established routine at this stage, and they'll be hoping just to keep things as normal. I suppose for Ederney, the slight difference this year compared to other years with the underdog coming in, there's not the same sense of occasion, there's not as big a crowd and so on, and that could work to their advantage, who's to say. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out, but no, I'd say both of them are happy enough. They've got plenty of time to prepare, and they're happy enough even with the current restrictions that they'll hopefully have things right.
Mark, would you agree with that assessment?
I would, yeah. Look, I think the point Malachy makes about Ederney, there's less of a sense of occasion, even in the build-up. Maybe people are not out gathering and chatting to the same extent about football, and certainly you can see around here just a smaller crowd, and it's quiet. There's no real sense of occasion. So maybe as I say, Malachy has made the point that might suit Ederney. Derrygonnelly, this is their 6th final in a row. It's not really going to affect them. They're so well used to what they do, and their routines will be embedded, so I don't think it will affect them at all, Kieran.
I think the point about smaller crowds, that's why we're glad to bring this game on Fermanagh GAA TV for our patrons at home. Just a word, Malachy, about both teams' paths to the final. We'll start with Derrygonnelly, the champions. They came through a test against a dogged Rosslea outfit, and they really blew Kinolly away in the semi-final.
Yeah, they did against Rosslea. It was a sort of a war of attrition, and it wasn't really until the last 10 minutes that they really got on top and sort of finished the game off. But Rosslea set up a very defensive fashion, and it's very hard to break that down. Against Kinolly then, I think they learned a lot from their league encounter where Kinolly beat them. I thought the last night, I thought they were very impressive, to be honest with you. The only thing that let them down was their shot execution, you'd say. I thought defensively they were very good. Kinolly scored 1-2 in the whole game. Found it very hard to penetrate the Derrygonnelly defence. I thought they were composed at the back. I thought their tackling was good. They were disciplined and so on. I also thought their forward play, they moved the ball nicely and created the chances, but they just didn't convert them. And that's not as bad as if you weren't creating them. It wasn't a case. And to be honest as well, I didn't think it was a case that they were taking shots from silly positions or anything like that. I think Steve McGullion might have had maybe 5 chances. He was right to take the shots on. There's no doubt about that. But he just would have been disappointed with the way he finished. So that would be one area Derrygonnelly definitely be trying to improve tonight.
Sometimes you just hit wides no matter what happens. I think the worrying thing is when that does connect. That's for
that's right. There's no doubt about that, because I thought a lot of the Derrygonnelly's game was very good. As I said, they're defensively and they were ready for Kinolly going back. Defensive at times, and I thought they used the ball, played the ball well. The nice intricate movements, and they were very patient. They waited until an opportunity came to get the shooter in position. It was just then that it was very frustrating for them, I'm sure, that they weren't converting all the time. But no, look at if they were able to play the same way tonight, be as good all around the field and convert the chances, Ederney's going to be in for a tough battle. They know that anyway, and it's just what sort of performance Ederney put in.
Mark, regarding Ederney, a case of revenge against Benelec. Ederney really showed up that day, got in Benelec's face and bullied them around the park. Similarly against Timor, they had a very strong and assured performance against a real championship outfit.
Yeah, look, Ederney probably couldn't have got a better draw than Benelec in the first round, because they will have been very sore about what happened last year. They would have had their eyes, firmly on being in a final last year as well. And I wouldn't say they got caught last year. They were beaten fair and square, but that certainly would have focused their minds when they were drawn against Ballinalack again this year. And I suppose you could, when you look back on it, you could argue there's only going to be one winner in that game. And Ederney certainly put in a very assured performance, as you say, Kieran, and come out reasonably comfortable at the end of that one. And then moved on to, took the confidence from that and moved on to the semi-final against, again, as you rightly say, a hardened championship team in Timor.
Never easily beaten.
Never. In any day you go and beat Timor, you've done a good day's work. And again, it was an assured performance by Ederney. They'll be a wee bit concerned about the concession of goals, and I'm sure that's something that they've looked at in the period since. But they do have a range of scorers. They have a real threat up front, and when they get the ball into those shooters, they're a challenge for anyone.
Well, that's the concession of goals is something we will talk about in the second part where we preview the two teams. But before we do that there, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break and we're going to have an opportunity to view their senior score Group of Ceol champions this year in Fermanagh. As you know, the score is a vital part of the GAA, and I as the cultural officer are very glad to see the score back. This year, Derrygonnelly were our senior score champions and they will be representing Fermanagh in the Ulster final. So sit back and enjoy this performance from the Derrygonnelly Group of Ceol team. Carja. Ben agah grúpa ceol de linn agus mar a dúirt mé gaomúid gahra orthú in san bouta ceannis scór in mbliana Maharlíonn sé. You're very welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our broadcast today, coming to you live from Brewster Park. It's about a half an hour before throw-in, so the teams will be coming out on onto the field soon, and we're going to see who is going to win the New York Cup, which is sitting over here beside us. Joining me here is Malachy O'Rourke and Mark Henry, and in this segment, lads, I would like to talk about the two teams that are going to be going to the field. Malachy, I'll start with you again. Derrygonnelly, what are their strengths, and from an Ederney perspective, what are their weaknesses?
Well, I think Derrygonnelly, the first thing you'd have to say, you know, they've been on the road now. They're going for the sixth championship. They've got a serious amount of game time together, and their team play is very good. That was evident here last day. And you know the way when you play that many matches together, you win that many matches together, you know, a lot of things start falling into place. They know each other's roles on the field. They know where people are going to run and so on. And they've a well-established system of play that, you know, that you can fit into very seamlessly.
How do you feel they have gelled some of their younger players who have come in this year?
Yeah, I think that has been a big thing as well, you know, when you do see fellas coming in, and they're not coming in to sort of play the key role, but they're coming in, you know, along with a lot of established players, you know, like the Jones brothers, not there around the middle of the field. But then you have young fellas like Shane McGullion's Shane missed the last night, Stephen's only a young fella, Aaron Jones came in the last night, you have the McGovern brothers there, you have lots of lads there coming in. The other thing I think about Derrygonnelly, they're very lucky in that in their defence they've got a number of fellas who can do man marking jobs, and that's not an easy thing to get, you know. So on any day that go out, that they have to take care of a couple of boys. They have a couple of boys who are very good at that, like Veerman, McHugh, Michael Jones, people like that there. Midfield obviously is a strength, you know. Stephen McGullion's playing very well. He got forward very well the last night, as we said, and he probably just didn't finish as well as you would have liked. Ryan Jones is obviously a key player for them, very good going forward, but he also drops back to great effect. Well, the forwards as well, you know. I thought I was very impressed with Gary McKenna last night. It was very busy. Garvin Jones obviously missing the day. Conal Jones a key player, and then, you know, they've other lads there who are doing different roles for them and doing it very effectively.
What about their fitness and their match sharpness, given that this has been a shortened season?
Yeah, well, there didn't seem to be much wrong with that, and probably when it comes to match sharpness, the more games you have, the better. And they've had a run of games between the league and the championship. The games are coming thick and fast, so, you know, as long as you don't pick up any injuries, it's a great way to go into finals. And they're experienced enough as well. They'll not have done much this week, so they'll come in nice and fresh. And there's a massive card for them. You know, they're going for 6 in a row. And I suppose the one thing you would always think in games like this is complacency. The only thing about Derrygonnelly, they've been in this position loads of times before, and I suppose in the championship this last number of years, nearly every game they've played, they've been clear favourites, and it hasn't done them any good. So they're well used to dealing with that. And the other thing, whether there would be a wee bit of complacency or not, Ederney have to put in a big performance. So, you know, that's what Ederney have to make sure they do, so they can only look after their own performance, and that's what they'll need.
That's a whole line of advantages for Derrygonnelly. What about weaknesses?
Yeah, well, the weaknesses, they haven't shown too many weaknesses, you know, so far. I thought their defence was very strong the last day, around the middle of the field as well. I suppose they wouldn't be happy with the scores they got for all the dominance that they had. So that's probably an area they want to be better at today. The one thing I would say from I suppose, you know, Ederney will be looking that their forward line will be more potent than Kinolly's. I think once they cut off that channel in front of Tomás Corrigan and Tom Keane the last day, Kinolly sort of ran out of ideas. Right. Yeah, so I think that Ederney would hope that they'd have a lot more scoring threat all around the field, and that would be and obviously around the middle of the field. That's where they'd hope that they could exploit Derrygonnelly.
Mark, looking now at Ederney, they have shown a lot of strengths to get to this stage this year as well.
They have, and you know, Ederney have been about for a long number of years.
They have threatened.
Yeah, Ederney have been one of the top 4 teams in Fermanagh for maybe 8-9 years, Kieran. They have a lot of quality players all over the pitch, and they have a lot of experience as well. You know, they have one of the things maybe that Ederney would be looking to exploit would be their pace. You know, they have great pace coming out of defence with Decky McCusker, Enda Cassidy's very, very pacey coming out with the ball.
Some other half-backs drop back as well. Paul McKervey, it stands out in my mind against Benalek. Was instrumental in the goal they got. He was in his own 45 and got up the field in a very short space of time.
Yeah, look, they're a very, very mobile team, and they will want to use that to their advantage here this evening. And I say, you know, you maybe throw into the mix as well. I'm not sure. Finbar Gillen might make an appearance, knowing Finbar as I do, if he's able to field it.
If he's fit to go,
he'll certainly be hard to hold back now in a county final. You know, they have a solid midfield as well. You know, Marty will still be able to grab plenty of ball around the middle of the field. And they do have, you know, Ederney have a range of scoring threats. You know, Paul McCusker has been doing it week in, week out for Ederney for years, and he will do the same again here tonight. And now he has maybe a better supporting cast than he's had for a number of years. You know, Sean Cassidy is developing into a very good player. You know, Ryan Morris can score as well, and Mark McCauley's developing into a really good forward as well. So what Ederney will be looking to do is try and somehow get enough ball and get it into those fellas and use that pace and that scoring threat that they have to try and put Derrygonnelly under pressure here.
To be fair to Ederney, when Martin McGrath went into full back to pick up Barry Owens, there wasn't as much. He really did nullify that threat. However, Barry Owens had scored 2 goals at that stage. So is the full back line a weakness for Ederney, or is it something that Derrygonnelly could exploit?
It's something they could possibly exploit. However, you could argue Barry Owens at the edge of the square would cause any full back line a problem, and has done.
Yeah.
You know, over the years at county and club level. You know, so I'm sure Derrygonnelly won't get caught up thinking we'll launch a range of high balls in here on top of the full back line. Derrygonnelly will do what they do, and it has served them very, very well. They might look to fire the odd one in and see what happens, Kieran, but I don't think that they will change tactic in terms of looking at that as a potential weakness for Ederney.
Leadership over the field, some of their main players, Mark, would you like to name some of them, and I'll come to you in a minute, Malachy, for Derrygonnelly?
Well, look, Ederney are not lacking in leaders. You know, the McCusker brothers, Marty McGrath, those guys, Stephen McElroan, those guys are absolutely superb leaders. I mentioned Finbar Gillen as well. You know, those guys, you know, they set the standard in Ederney. It wouldn't matter who's managing Ederney or who comes in there to help out. Those guys set the standard, and there's a very solid, strong culture in Ederney. And you know, in terms of leadership, they're not lacking at all. Those lads have been not there but thereabouts for a long time. And they will certainly be well able to lead the younger players through this game this evening.
Derrygonnelly are just coming onto the field, Malachy, but some of their leaders that they have.
Yeah, well, again in defence they have fellas there with a lot of county experience. Michael Jones has been around the block a fair bit, Tiernan Daly, Eamon McHugh, and then the young Gareth McGinley's a very unsung hero there. Does a lot of good work, has been a very steadying influence on there. The younger fellas, Shane McGullion and Lee Jones, boys. Obviously Ryan Jones around the middle of the field, strong. But you know, all around the field, they've got Declan Cassidy there, does a great role in the forward line, and he knows his role off to a tee. So they've got, you know, all around the field, they've got a lot of players who can play big roles for them, you know. And I suppose the big advantage Derrygonnelly have over Ederney is the experience factor. Ederney, particularly defence, is very inexperienced, and that's an area that Derrygonnelly be looking to exploit. And I'd say Derrygonnelly be trying to get on top early on, get as much ball in there as they possibly can, get a few scores on the board, and put Ederney under pressure, you know, as early in the match as they possibly can.
So with Derrygonnelly coming out onto the field, it's only a matter of minutes before Ederney comes. We're getting round to the stage where we need to ask who is going to win this championship final. I think, Mark, I'll ask you first.
Well, I feel that there's a big performance in Ederney. I think the experience of 2 years ago where they came and didn't perform will stand to them. That's in many ways maybe out of their system. They'll be better for that. So I think there's a massive performance in Ederney, and there'll have to be. And I still think, you know, regardless maybe of how well Ederney play, Derrygonnelly just might squeeze out.
Malachy?
Yeah, I think the same, and I suppose you've been asking me about Derrygonnelly most of the time so far, and you know, they are the champions. They're going to be very hard to beat. I think Ederney's forward line, you know, Mark mentioned earlier on Sean Cassidy, Ryan Morrison there, Mark McCauley, the two McCuskers. I think the forwards have to stand up. I think the Ederney forwards really have to have a big night tonight and be clinical up there. You know, the ball has to stick. They have to get the scores. Midfield's going to be important, and then again their defence. You know, that's an area that they're struggling a wee bit against Timor before that high ball going in. So they're going to have make sure to do that again tonight. They're going to be in problems. But look, like Mark said, I think Ederney, should be primed for a big performance. But they're going to need it. And look, it's hard to see past Derrygonnelly's experience at this stage.
Derrygonnelly ever so tentatively from the two of you then, is that it? Yeah.
Maybe fair enough.
Well, now we pass to Ger Tracy and Dom Corrigan, who will bring you through the first half of this Quinn Building Products Senior Football Championship final, brought to you by Fermanagh GAA TV in association with our broadcast partners NCIRC.
Would like to send their best wishes to all teams in this weekend's Club Championship finals. Check out some of the amazing new car offers we have now available and visit us to take a test drive. Get the revamped, restyled and stunning Hyundai i10 from only £192 deposit and £192 per month. Or what about the awesome new Ford Puma, winner of What Car of the Year 2020, yours from only £239 deposit and £239 per month. Thinking of going electric? Why not visit us and take a test drive on the brilliant and fuel-efficient Hyundai Ioniq Hybrid. This can be yours for £295 deposit and £295 per month. Whoa, the all-new Ford Kuga is proving so popular. You really need to check out this brilliant, fun, family SUV that you can pick up from only £339 deposit and £339 per month. Monaghan Bros, driving Fermanagh GAA forward as official Club Ederney brand partners and proud suppliers of the Fermanagh GAA kit van for over 15 years.
Welcome to the commentary position here at the back of the John Veazey stand in Brewster Park on County Final Day. It's County Final Day with a difference, as players, managers and the limited number of spectators present here have to adhere to the ongoing COVID-19 regulations. If you're from Ederney or Derrygonnelly, I guess you would rather be nowhere else in the world than here in Brewster Park. But if you've not been able to get to the ground, then I hope you can enjoy the coverage here on Fermanagh GAA TV. I think the vast majority of followers in GAA and Fermanagh will acknowledge that the two best and most consistent teams in the county will do battle this evening for the New York Cup. And if it's an Ederney victory, it'll break a 52-year gap back to their only victory in 1968. And what celebrations that would spark. If Derrygonnelly Harps prevail, they will have completed a quite remarkable 6 in a row and therefore equal what Inniskill and Gales achieved back between 1998 and 2003 and bring their tally of victories to 9, with their first coming 25 years ago in 1995 in what incidentally was the first county final I commentated on. So, 25 years on, it's a real privilege to be behind the mic for this county final and to be joined on commentary by my good friend and the great and the legend that is Dom Corrigan. Dom, you're very welcome to Fermanagh GAA TV on County Final Day.
Thank you very much, Chet, and really looking forward to this one. Two of the best teams in the county going head to head. As you said there earlier, special circumstances, different circumstances, but I think we're in for a great game of football. And we've watched over this last number of weeks finals in Antrim, final in Tyrone last week, that blockbuster that you commentated on last week, Cavan last night. I think we're going to have a great one in Fermanagh tonight, a great senior final, and everybody looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then a lot of people, Dom, would think that maybe Derrygonnelly will win it, and maybe win it fairly comfortably. I don't, speaking off air, you and I wouldn't be off that view. We think it could be close enough. Is that right?
I think it'll be a real genuine contest here, because Ederney are a seasoned team, and I know Derrygonnelly have won their 6, but as part of that 6, Ederney have been knocking on the door quite a bit, and they've been really challenging hard over this last number of years, and I think everybody would agree that this is Ederney's best team in that last 5 or 6 years. A very mature team. They've injected it with a bit of fresh talent, and of course, their seasoned players are there as well. So I think Derrygonnelly, rightly so, go in as favourites, but Ederney have a good, strong, realistic chance, and quite a few people would be fancying Ederney to cause a big upset here tonight.
And 2018, you mentioned the fact there, Dom, that Ederney have been around and about when Derrygonnelly have been doing this 5 in a row. But 2018, they came here and they faced off, and Derrygonnelly won by 12 points. Is that going to be an issue for Ederney, to cast out of their minds? Can they do that?
I think they will turn that into a positive, because you have to lose one before you win one, and the experience, painful and all as that experience was, that's going to stand to them here today. And I just watched them there, just coming in, leaving their bags in behind the dugout. They looked very, very calm, very composed. Mickey Cassidy said in 2018 they played the occasion. In 2020 they're looking to play the game, and I sense a real sense of intent about them. They're definitely more mature than they were in 2018, and they feel, I think people would say around the county that Ederney have the best forward line in the county, but they're coming up against, without a shadow of doubt, the best defence in the county, maybe the best defence in Ulster. Derrygonnelly's defence is brilliant, and the thing I like about them, they can go man to man on any players and win it that way, or they can swarm back. They play anyway, and that's the big challenge in this game. How will the Ederney forward line, highly rated and all as they are, cope with the tight marking, disciplined, aggressive Derrygonnelly defence? That is going to be the key in this match.
And do you think that the Ederney forward line will get enough space to accrue the scores that they need to keep tight to this Derrygonnelly team throughout the hour?
Well, I watched them against Timor and I was very impressed with them. Ryan Morris, Sean Cassidy, obviously Paul McCusker then at number 11 pulling the strings, Mark McCauley. They have real quality players, Paul McKervey in there as well. But what I like about them is they're very much a good counter-attacking team as well, and they break at serious pace. So when they turn over, if they manage to turn over Derrygonnelly, they'll be looking to punish them on the counter-attack. So if they get the quick ball in and get some early scores, that's going to get them settled. But for Sean Cassidy, for Ryan Morris, for Mark McCauley, those are 3 big players, and no doubt Derrygonnelly will be looking to have those 3 detailed, because they are 3 big scoring threats for them. And then obviously, as we said, with Paul McCusker, Decky, Marty McGrath has a massive role in this game as well in the middle of the field, because in the games up to now, Ryan Jones, and we talked about Ryan here when I was here in the semi-final, he is the man for Derrygonnelly. When Ryan Jones plays, Derrygonnelly plays. And how are Ederney going to cope? Who are they going to put on Ryan Jones today? That's going to be the big question. And if they manage to curtail Ryan Jones's impact on this game, that's going to be a big plus for Ederney, and it could leave them in a great position.
Yeah, could swing it in their favour, and I suppose maybe that's an opportune moment to have a look at the Derrygonnelly Harps team and the way that their manager Sean Flanagan and his assistant Brendan Razzle will line his team out, and we have it there on the screen for you. In goals will be Jack Kelly wearing number 1, Aidan McKenna will wear number 2, Tiernan Daly, the 26-year-old, will wear 3, Michael Jones completes the full back line wearing number 4. At wing half back will be be Lee Jones, and then at number 6, dropping out of the team, is Shane McGullion, and he'll be replaced by a novice, that's Garrett McGovern. I'll bring Dom in on that in a moment, but Garrett McGovern is the name now that people will have to factor in as he takes a spot in that Derrygonnelly rear guard. And number 7 then, completing the defensive unit, will be Garvin McGinley. Then middle of the field will be Stephen McGullion, and their captain Ryan Jones, the man Dom alluded to a moment ago. The half forward line then will be Eamon McHugh will wear number 10, Conal Jones will wear number 11, and the evergreen Declan Cassidy will wear number 12. The full forward line is the 19-year-old student Micheál Glynn. He'll wear 13. Paul Ward was selected in your programme to wear number 14, but he's been replaced, as we thought he might have been, by wearing number 22, Gavin McGovern. And then Gary McKenna, who is their top scorer in the championship to date, he will wear the number 15 jersey. So, Dom, that's an interesting selection. Before we look at the Ederney team, a quick word on those two changes. I suppose maybe Paul Ward's was anticipated, but I'm sort of taken aback by the fact that Garrett McGovern, a 17-year-old, has come in to replace the injured Shane McGullion.
Yeah, well, it's tough on Shane, and I don't think Paul Ward was ever going to start there. I think that was a wee curveball that was sent in by the Derrygonnelly management just to deflect attention away. Gavin Jones would have been the man starting. I think for Gavin, due to work commitments, he had to leave. So it's tough on Shane and Gavin. Gareth McGovern is in there, a tough, strong, aggressive player. I know he's new to the championship scene. I suppose that maybe is the only surprise. But Gareth McGovern is a good footballer, and I don't think he'll let Derrygonnelly down. And probably he's in there because of his physicality. Aaron Jones had a great game against Tom Keenan in the championship semi-final, but probably what Derrygonnelly have looked at here is that the Ederney forward line are maybe more physical, a few taller players in there, and Gareth is in there to do a man-marking job.
So Gareth's more robust, taller players.
Yes, and I think they've obviously detailed him for some of these Ederney forwards. I'm not sure who it is yet, but Gareth is a good man-marker, and I don't think he'll let the side down.
Well, there you are. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you're enjoying this broadcast on Fermanagh GA TV, coming to you live from Brewster Park in association with our broadcast partners. That's NSERC, creating careers in glass, as we now turn our attention to the Ederney St Joseph's team, and a couple of changes on this team as well, which may get people sitting up in their sofas, should I say. And by the way, if you want to have a look at the programme, of course you can go online. There's an 80-page programme that has been compiled for this county final, and it's online and it's free of charge, and you can access it there. Brilliant programme, worth looking at. But let's concentrate on the team that Mickey Cassidy, along with Christopher Kelly, Sean Donnelly, Adrian McGee and Sean McGrath, the management team, have picked for the St Joseph's. In goals, as expected, is the 31-year-old experienced Chris Snow. Then the full back line is made up of a pair of twins. That's Michael Maguire wearing 2 and Paul Maguire wearing 4. And then in between is the experienced 32-year-old Stephen McElrowan. I seen Declan McCusker taking the toss there a few moments ago. So Declan must be the captain of the team. I was of the opinion that it was Marty McGrath, but we'll give it to Declan. And then the surprise, I suppose, and I'll bring you in on this, Dom, in a moment, is the fact that Andy Cassidy wearing 6 has dropped out, and he's replaced by Finbar Gillen wearing number 16. And of course Finbar had his jaw dislocated in the Ballinelec game, so that's only about 4 weeks ago, so that is a surprise. And then wearing number 7 will be Jacob Britton. The middle of the field is the 39-year-old evergreen Martin McGrath. He'll wear number 8, and Luke Harn then comes in wearing number 17 for Owen McGee. The half-forward line is Paul McKervey wearing 10, number 11 is Mark McCauley, number 12 then is Paul McCusker, and then the full forward line wearing 13 is Conor McGee, 14 is Sean Cassidy, and 15 is Ryan Morris. So you talked about curveballs, and I thought Finbar Gillen being listed as number 16 was a curveball, but he's starting Don Corrigan.
Yeah, he's starting. That's a big surprise, because as we know, Finbar picked up a nasty injury against Ballinelec in the quarter-final. He's made a great recovery. I'm surprised to see him starting, but a wee bit like Gareth McGovern and Derrygonnelly, the management team knows on the training field who's going well and who's not. So obviously Finbar has managed to get himself back. Massive courage to get himself back after such an injury. So he's obviously impressed Mickey Cassidy and his backroom team, and they feel his experience is crucial in that defence.
Yeah, and he has been a key player for Ederney over the last number of years. He's an experienced, tough take defender.
He's a brilliant defender. He's one of the top club defenders in the county over this past 5 years, as you say, Jet. So they felt that with this highly rated Derrygonnelly forward line, that they needed that sort of experience today, and he obviously has been going well in training, because Mickey and the lads would not be putting him in unless he was showing form in training, and they have faith in him, and no doubt Fimbo will be looking to repay that faith.
Yeah, he's a brave lad coming back after a jaw operation.
Great courage on his part.
And interestingly, Dom, I believe he did tug out in the semi-final. Now, I don't know whether he was going to feature, but he did tug out. So, and Luke Harn coming in as we watch the teams in their huddles.
Yeah, well, I see that Owen McGee was listed to start, and I watched Owen in the early part of the year. I was very impressed with him, but he picked up an injury, so he's probably not match ready. Luke Harn has played their championship games up to now. He is good, but I'm not sure that Luke will start in the middle of the field. It'll be interesting to see. I'm keen to see who Ederney put on Ryan Jones. That is going to be the big one. I don't think it'll be Luke. I think Luke will either go to wing back or wing forward, and they'll take somebody else to the middle of the field to pick up Ryan Jones, because I expect Marty McGrath and Stevie McGullion to have that head-to-head.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see who goes on to Ryan Jones, and we'll pick that up, of course, in a few moments as both teams are assembled in their huddles. And our national anthem this evening will be sung by Ederney native Eleanor McGrath, Eleanor Farry, as she is now. So both teams stand in a line as Eleanor sings Around the Vein.
A chiad oranico, fwy which tosi Sean sheer or sin of hosta, ni ogfa, fwyn sheer anocht frintro, anocht a him savan of will. Lagan or gil con boss no sail, Lagan Israel, ni labog na bele, Shalif coni aron na be.
Well, if that wouldn't get the hairs on the back of your neck lifted, nothing else. Well, that's a wonderful rendition of Around the Vein from Eleanor McGrath. Super bit of singing there from Eleanor.
Oh yes, Eleanor has won All-Ireland competitions, I think, at various levels in the Feis and all of that there, and it's been a brilliant thing that the Fermanagh County Board have brought into the championship this year, is to have the singers at the start of the game for the national anthem. It's been done in every other county. I think we're the last to pick it up, but it adds value to the whole occasion.
Yes, and our referee out in the middle of the field is Niall Cullen, the most experienced referee, it has to be said, in the county.
Niall Cullen is a top referee. He's on the national panel as well. This is his second championship game. He'd be hoping this one is less eventful than the quarter-final he done. I think he issued 11 yellow cards and 2 reds in the Benelec-Ederney game. He'd be looking for a prior game, but everybody knows Niall Cullen is top referee.
Yeah, his standby referee is Barry Mullen, and his linesman is Dermot Love, so we wish them all the best as well for this massive encounter here. County Final Day 2020, and we're underway here in Fermanagh GATV, and up and thrusting for the ball there is Conor McGee. It looks like Conor McGee might be the man, Dom, that is going to pick up Ryan Jones by the looks of things.
Yes, I see Conor was moved out from corner forward. Him and Marty McGrath in the middle of the field. Marty McGrath picking up Stevie and Conor McGee picking up Ryan.
As Lee Jones comes forward with the ball, gets it out to Micheál Glynn. Glynn gets it back to the 36-year-old Decky Casty. Casty back inside, it goes to Glynn again. Strong tackle on that occasion by the Ederney rearguard, and their captain Decky McCusker is the man who comes out with it. Gives it back to Stephen McElroy. Across the field it goes to Mark McCauley and into the safe hands of Marty McGrath. McGrath changes the point of the attack. Good width to the Ederney rear guard. Gives them an option over on the far side of the field. Ball fed down the wing by Paul McKervey. Looking there for Sean Cassidy, drifting out from the full forward line. But Derrygonnelly have plenty of numbers back there, and picking up the loose pieces is Aidan McKenna. McKenna gathers and gets a first touch there to Garrett McGovern. McGovern over to Daly, and Daly then cross field to Decky Cassidy. He was up in the half forward line a moment ago. I look to my right and he's in possession, back deep in his own full back line. That's what you expect when you have an operator like Decky Cassidy. The ball with Lee Jones. He gives it then in the midfielder, and that's Stephen McGullion. Back to Cassidy. Cassidy over to Tiernan Daly. Daly comes forward in the midfield area. Daly looks up, thought about delivering it long, but is more deliberate. Goes over the far side of the field to the very experienced Garvin McGinley. Back it goes to another experienced man. That's Declan Cassidy. We played a minute and a half. No scores in the county final as yet. Ball over the top. Eamon McHugh's Garvin McGinley continued his attack, but he took the shot off the ground and goes to the right hand side and goes wide. Your impressions of the opening 2 minutes, Dom?
Well, for the underdog especially, it's vitally important that they get off to a good start, and Ederney will be pleased that they haven't conceded any score from those two Derrygonnelly attacks, but they'll be looking to get a score themselves here very soon.
Kick out is taken there by Christopher Snow. Up the go. This will be intriguing. Who's going to win ball in the middle of the field? On that occasion it was touched, unfortunately, on the ground. I think it was Paul McKervey that was in there, touched it on the ground, and the free will go the way of Derrygonnelly Harps. It was Niall Cullen right up the play. A judge that was touched on the ground as Decky Cassidy feeds it forward, looking for Conal Jones. Jones wearing number 11, centre half forward, can appear anywhere for this Derrygonnelly attack. Still Jones, give him a bit of space and he'll go for the post, and that he does. High drop ball, can it be kept in play, or will it drift out to the right hand side and wide? In fact, there's a push on the back, I think is what's been indicated over there. The umpires today, of course, are mostly from the Bleak Club: Darren Cox, Michael Ferguson, Rossa Cullen and Aidan Ferguson, and they made the decision that ball hadn't gone out, and therefore it's a free out to the men from Ederney. 3 minutes played here on county final day in 2020, a county final that'll be remembered for a lot of reasons. Hopefully it'll be a memorable game, but it'll be remembered as the year that the spectators were limited coming into the ground. We have about maybe 400 to 500 people in watching the game this evening. So if you're from Derrygonnelly or Ederney, and wherever you are in the world, we hope you are tuned in watching this broadcast on Fermanagh GA TV, brought to you in association with our broadcast partners. That's from NSERC. This is the Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Final, and this is Stephen McElroan coming forward with the ball, gives it to Decky McCusker. McCusker slips it inside there to Finbar Gillen. Gillen now pops it off there. An opportunity for Ederney. The ball is fed over to the right hand side to Jacob Britton. Britton, 22 years of age. Britton, Derrygonnelly has got everybody behind the ball, bar one player. Well, everybody's behind the 45 now. Good ball to Decky McCusker. McCusker's shot comes off the back of Ryan Jones, but Ederney still have a chance, but it's a weak effort on that occasion by Ryan Morris. But it just shows you that they had the patience and the build up there, Dom, and there was good opportunity.
Yes, it was a very, very good move there from Ederney, and Decky probably will be a bit disappointed that nothing came out of it. Maybe it would have been better to have clipped the ball over the bar and to have got themselves off the board there. So still looking for the first score.
Yeah, brilliant break ball there, well up by Marty McGrath. Breaks it down to Mark McCauley. McCauley, a left-footed player, swings it over there to Jacob Britton. Britton lays it back out, touched on the ground on that occasion. Yeah, referee right up with the play. You have to admire Niall Cullen and the start he's made to this game, and it's a free into Ederney.
One of the interesting matchups here, I see Derrygonnelly have Conal Jones on Decky McCusker. That's going to be an interesting one because Decky will be looking to push up. Conal then on the other hand will be looking to put Decky on the back foot. So that's an interesting matchup to watch during the course of the game.
Certainly is, and this is an interesting kick, an opportunity for Mark McCauley. He's scored 2 goals and 7 points in the championship to date. In fact, he's the leading scorer. Has he pulled it? He has. He's pulled it to the right hand side and pulled it wide. 2 wides for Ederney, 1 wide for Derrygonnelly. 5 minutes played, no score.
No score. Ederney will be disappointed. There were 2 good chances. Decky's chance going through the middle, and that free was very scoreable as well. So disappointing for them.
Yeah, short kick out on this occasion by Jack Kelly. Finds the intended target, and eventually it comes over this side of the field from Eamon McHugh to Decky Cassidy. Decky Cassidy, of course, his brother Kevin played on the 1995 team when they won their first. He is a member of the subs this afternoon. So there's the continuity as Colin Jones picks up the ball, lays it back out again. Outfield it comes again one more time into the hands there of the young man Gareth McGovern, making his championship debut in the county final. What a day. It's one he'll never forget, particularly if Derrygonnelly Harps win it, as Mickey Jones comes forward, leads it there on this occasion. Back inside it goes. Opportunity for Glen in the back of the net. Micheál Glen gets the opening score of the county final, and it's a dream goal for Micheál Glen, playing in his first championship final. And Mickey Cassidy shakes his head. What more can he do? But Micheál Glen will be delighted. Super goal from Micheál Glen. We'll get a look at it, Dom, here.
Yes, an absolutely brilliant goal. A great move. Derrygonnelly pushed up. 4 or 5 players involved. Great ball in there to Micheál Glen, and no better man than Micheál to finish a chance like that. And a great start to the game for Micheál, because he's had 2 games in the championship to date where he hasn't been performing as well as expected. But that there was perfect for him.
Well, that is just an unstoppable goal from Micheál Glen. Heavy challenge over there. Referee again indicates that that'll be a free. But it has to be said, if you give that sort of space to this Derrygonnelly side, well, they will punish, particularly when they have the likes of Micheál Glen stealing a march in on the goals.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing about Derrygonnelly. The last day it was Gary McKenna who stepped forward and got the goals. Some of the other forwards were misfiring. Now today, Micheál, who didn't play particularly well against Kinawley, he has stepped up to the breach today. That's the sign of a good team, that on any given day it could be any of the forwards to do the damage.
And that is the strength of this Derrygonnelly side. When you look at 1 to 15 and you can go further and very deep into their bench, they have all the class that they need on a bench. And starting today as Mark McCauley fists it forward, could have went for the shot, gives it to Britton gets the shot away, and that's an opening score for the men from Ederney St Joseph's, and that will settle them down. They needed that, Dom, I would suggest, after 7.5 minutes.
A very good score, and a very important score for Ederney, because if it had to go on much longer, and for all their good play, if it hadn't been getting scores, it would have certainly sapped at their confidence. So vital score for Ederney.
Yeah, and that would have, any more wides I suppose as well, would have deflated the team, as the kick out is taken quickly again. Fed over there, Garvin McGinley back to Tiernan Daly. Daly striding forward, loves to come forward and support his attack, but is needed, of course, back in that full back line as Decky Cassidy lays the ball off there to Micheál Glen. Confidence will be soaring now from Glen. Dummy solo on that occasion. He's been marked today by Paul Maguire. Paul will try and not to give him an inch as the ball is fed forward there to Lee Jones. Lee Jones has support there from Gavin McGovern. McGovern keeps it in. McGovern, just 20 years of age, gives it back outside. Still possession. Football's the name of the game for Derrygonnelly Harps in the shape here of Micheál Glen. Gives it back out one more time to the man making his debut, Gareth McGovern. McGovern striding forward. Beautiful evening here in Brewster Park. Sun, whatever little's left for the evening, is just dipping in behind the clouds. Not an air, not a breeze, as Colin Jones feeds the ball forward. Good ball inside, and the mark will be claimed there. Intelligent play by Stephen McGullion. Claim the mark, and he will have a pop of the post.
And Stephen has been a very important player, and that's a good shot and a very good score from Stephen.
Brilliant score from Stephen McGullion. It just shows you, Dom, you alluded to the fact that they've quality all over the pitch, and when you can pop a point like that there, it's a super asset to have.
Yeah, and they seem to be on the ball here with the shooting today, because in the match against Kinawley in the semi-final, they shot the score rate of just above 30%. They've about 1-1 here scored already with very few shots.
Ball out in the middle of the field, break ball crucial, as I alluded to earlier. This time Derrygonnelly forwards for it, but they've been closed down, but referee says he's happy enough with that, and Ryan Jones, the captain of the team, lays the ball off to Decky Cassidy. Cassidy now 45 metres out. Strong Romish challenge on that occasion, too strong, says the referee, and the free will be awarded to the men from Derrygonnelly, and Colin Jones will probably fancy his chances from 45 metres out.
Yes, I think he's a very good free taker. He was the free taker for the county there for a few years, and he will fancy this one, there's no doubt about it.
Well, we have plenty of people from all over the world tuned into this. A couple of names that have just been handed to me. Lee Green is in Birmingham. Sinead Ward is in Liverpool. Niall and Garvin Jones are in Doha. And Garvin, of course, has played in numerous county finals. Misses today as he's moved to Doha for a year's work. Ronan Razzle in Dublin and Paul McGrady. There's another connection with the 1995 team. He's in Castlewellan. He played for Derrygonnelly Harps in 1995. 25 years on, it's Colin Jones with the shot, but the shot has gone to the right hand side and gone wide. 2 wides apiece, a goal and a point to Derrygonnelly and a point to Ederney.
Yes, and Ederney will definitely be looking now to get some more ball around the middle of the field. That's the last couple of balls they've lost here on breaks around the middle. Chris Snow has got his kick out away well there.
Yeah, short kick out by Snow on that occasion, and eventually it comes back to him. Of course, it can't go back directly after the kick out. That's one of the new rules, but it didn't on that occasion as the sun shines now over in the stands or on the terrace side over there here in Brewster Park. This is Fermanagh GA TV bringing you the Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Final of 2020 in association with our broadcast partners from NSERC, as the ball is in the hands of one of the twins. 2 sets of twins, of course, in this Ederney St Joseph team. The Maguire brothers, Michael and Paul, in the full back line. And of course then you have the Ryan and Niall McGrath, the twins, on the substitutes bench for Ederney, as the ball is in the hands of Paul McKervey. McKervey does well, takes all his man, still going strong, feeds the ball over here towards one of the four-mentioned twins. That's Michael. Back inside it goes to Britton and back through the hands. This is good football from the men from Ederney, and Paul McKervey gets a shot, but it's gone to the right hand side and gone wide. And I suppose you have to give credit to Derrygonnelly. They're forcing Ederney to kick from difficult positions.
Yes, we talked before the game, Jet, about this Derrygonnelly defence being the best in the county, arguably the best defence at club level in Ulster, and there was no way through there. They had about 2 or 3 sweepers in front of that Ederney full forward line, and it was a rush shot, and no score from it either.
Jack Kelly was looking to go short, but the option wasn't there, and therefore he kicked it long. Ball broken down. Paul McCusker hasn't been involved in the game to date, wants to take the kick quickly. Referee says he can, and he allows him to take it from that position on the 45-metre line. He slips a good ball inside there to Casty. Casty back to Declan McCusker on the left foot. McCusker gets the shot away, but McCusker's shot again from a difficult position, and again you have to credit Derrygonnelly forcing Ederney into taking these opportunities from difficult positions. That one drops short into the grateful hands of Jack Kelly, and therefore the men from Derrygonnelly Harps going for 6 in a row. What an incredible achievement that would be. They're in possession of the football. Ryan Jones spreads the ball over the far side of the field. Over goes to Garvin McGinley. McGinley 65 metres out. Still McGinley looks up, but it's intercepted. Good interception on that occasion there by Luke Harn, the 19-year-old. Harn lays it off there one more time. The ball now in the hands of Paul McKervey. Good youth in this Ederney side. Here's another youthful player. That's Ryan Morris. Morris lays it back out there to Sean Casty. Casty looks up, spreads the play. Good ball inside to Conor McGee. McGee, this is good football for the Ederney men. Through the hands it goes. Now the man in space over this side of the field is Luke Harn. He kicked a couple of points in the semi-final. Can he kick one here? Ball spread out wide again to Jacob Britton. Britton looks up, surveys his options. Now Derrygonnelly have plenty of men behind the ball as they start to press out now and force Macaulay to go out further with Finbar Gilland. Gilland coming forward, fancies his chances, does he? No. Thought about it, lays it off there to Decky McCusker. McCusker still in possession. McCusker striding over there, gives a good ball inside. Opportunity again, back through the hands it goes. Mark Macaulay on the left foot, half blocked down. What way will it break? It breaks favourably for that. That looks like a penalty. It's Ryan Morris who held the ball, and Ryan Morris was pulled to the ground. We might be able to get another look at that, but Ryan Morris was the man who was pulled to the ground, and Niall Cullen was right up at the play, decides that it's a penalty, and I don't think Derrygonnelly can have any complaints.
No, I don't think so. And Ederney showed great patience there. They used the width of the pitch as well. They kept the ball well.
Here we go now.
Inside. Yeah, definitely a foul there. I think it was Gareth McGovern who gave away the penalty.
Well, here we come. Mark Macaulay scored 2-7 in the championship to date. He faces Jack Kelly. What a big moment in the game. There's a goal between the sides. This to level it. Macaulay into the back of the net. A goal for Ederney. And if belief wasn't surging in the Ederney St Joseph's men, it is now. Sides level.
Oh, a crucial score for Ederney, and exactly what the game needed as well. And a well-struck penalty. Give Jack Love no chance there. Macaulay, left foot, and he put it right to Jack's left, right in the corner, no stopping it, and here come Ederney again, Paul McKervey.
Paul McKervey slips it inside the man who got the goal a moment ago. That's Mark McCauley. He's just hit a point, and now Ederney go into the lead, 1-2 to 1-1. What a response!
Oh, exactly what Ederney
just
needed.
Just in time for the water break.
Just in time for the water break, and it's exactly what they needed, because the big thing now in the modern game, Jet, is the kick-outs, and after getting the goal, it was important that Ederney pushed on. They win the kick-out, got the ball to Mark McCauley again, and he stuck it over the bar.
And his confidence was surging. You know, they've had to shoot from difficult positions, and McCauley's shot there at the end, that was from a difficult enough position, though, but it just shows you the confidence.
That's a massive boost to them, and you can see the body language on the Ederney players. They raced into their management team there with the water break, so they're really feeling good about themselves. Well, 3 minutes ago, Jet, it was very frustrating for them, and it looked as if there was no way through that Derrygonnelly rear guard, but this is where Derrygonnelly's big experienced players now will step in. I see Sean and Brendy in there, and they will definitely be looking to get a response from their players now in these next 5 minutes.
Yeah, and as you know, Derrygonnelly don't do panic. That's one thing they have. They have bucket loads of experience, as Sean Donnelly and Mickey Cassidy in the middle of the huddle there for the Ederney men. So a generous 1 minute, I have to say, but
yeah, I think the last couple of minutes has shown, Jet, that this is a different Ederney to what was here in 2018. They're not going to go away here tonight without a real fight. If that was 2018, they could have accepted it and just went through the motions, but they are here with real intent here today, and that last 3-4 minutes showed that.
Well, a huge 3 or 4 minutes, because with 13 minutes gone in the first half, and it was 1-1 to a point. It's now 1-2 to a point, or to 1-1 in favour of the men from Ederney St Joseph. Break ball again. Who's going to win it? Marty McGrath in there like a lion, foraging for that ball there and coming out with it. Gives it over there to Paul McCusker. McCusker then to Britton. Crossfield ball. Possession, the name of the day now for the Ederney man. Paul McCusker soaring forward, 32 years of age, looks up, delivers a good ball into space. That space is filled by the man who won the penalty, and 1 more to go. That's Ryan Morris, and what a magnificent catch that was by Morris. We probably didn't give him the credit as McCusker gallows the ball. McCusker looks up in the sunshine, good ball inside, opportunity again, but this time it's blocked down, back into the hands of Brennan. Oh, that's a strong challenge there between Jacob Britton and I think it's Eamon McHugh, wasn't both players. Well, the ball was there to be won. We might have another look at it, Dom, but it was a very strong challenge by Eamon McHugh in on Jacob Britton.
Yeah, I think it was a 50-50 ball there. It was an accidental collision. The two men went with full commitment for the ball, and both hopefully not seriously hurt out of that. But I think the important thing for Ederney in the last while, they're getting Paul McCusker on the ball. Paul Hardy touched the ball in the opening 10 minutes of the game, but he has been in the game now a lot in these last couple of minutes. And for Ederney to make headway here, they need the likes of Paul, the likes of Declan. It looks as if they've lost one of their players here.
Yeah, it looks like this is quite a serious injury to I think it was Jacob Britton from memory it was, who went in to win that ball. He went committed to win it. Well, he's starting to sit up here, so maybe we'd heard a call down below us that maybe they needed a sub, but it's good to see Jacob sitting up there.
Jacob has had a very good start to the game. He scored the opening point, and he's been getting on the ball down this wing, using the ball very well. So if he was to go off, it'd be a loss to Ederney.
There's great width to the Ederney attack, Tom.
Great width and great depth as well, and they play patience that if it's clogged up inside, they won't kick the ball away aimlessly. They'll recycle, and they're looking to get runners ahead of the ball, and they've picked off some very good scores. And the penalty goal, it was the classic example of patient play, and then getting the ball in at the right time, a one-on-one inside. They got the penalty out of it, they got the goal out of it.
Well, it looks like Jacob Britton's day is done, and well, he is a very able replacement in that Andy Cassidy, who we were a bit surprised about, Dom, didn't start. He's on the field of play, so a good replacement, but it's sad to see Jacob Britton going off, because he had, as you say, a very good start.
A very good start to the game, a very good footballer, and I think it's a blow. And is a good player already. I was surprised maybe they didn't start, but Jacob going off there as a blue tag, isn't he?
Yeah, Marty McGrath wins the throw up, and again, right away, Cassidy's involved in the play. So the referee deemed that to be a 50-50 ball, just as we thought it was, Dom. So no free resulted. That's a high challenge there by McGullion, and that will result in a free. But Niall Cullen made the right call, I think, Dom. We thought it was a ball there to be won.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, you know, there was no malice in that. It was a 50-50 ball, a real championship intensity. Both men went fully committed for the ball, and unfortunately, Jacob came off the worst. It looks like a shoulder injury, possibly collarbone, but hopefully he's not bad, because he's a really well improved player and very important for Ederney, but unfortunately his night is over.
Yeah, well, unless the monitor him down there, Coach Darren McCusker doubles up as doctor and a sub on this Ederney team, as Chris Snow comes forward to take the kick. They lead by a point, 1-2 to 1-1. Snow likes the look of that. It's off the upright and back into play, as Andy Casty has it now back to Paul McCusker. McCusker back to Casty. Casty, brother of course of Sean Casty and sons of the manager Mickey Casty, as the ball is in the hands of the aforementioned Sean Casty. Inside it goes, but the referee deems that there was no foul there by Garvin McGinley on Mark McCauley, so play can continue, and Derrygonnelly will look to get out of their own half, because really they haven't been out of it for quite a considerable period, and they won't get over the halfway line on this occasion, because the ball is given away, and Marty McGrath comes forward and he's fouled there by Tiernan Daly, and really it is Ederney who are in the ascendancy here.
It is a very good spell for Ederney. They're on top here in the middle of the field. Marty, Conor McGee very much in control. They're getting in for break balls. That is the important thing. And the other thing then, they're using the ball very well. Now Chris Snow's taking this one again. He was very unlucky with the first one, just came off the upright. And for the underdog Jet, it's important that they put away the chances. That they put them. So Chris will be looking to nail this one.
Yeah, very unfortunate with the first one. Come back off the upright and nobody there to punish and put it over the bar. But another opportunity for Chris Snow. 22 minutes played here. Ederney, of course, have won championship to their name, and that was in 1968. 52 years ago when they beat Newton Butler 3-7 to 2-6. This evening they're looking to beat Derrygonnelly, as Snow hits that one really, really well. That's a super effort from Chris Snow. Sailed over the bar. We knew he'd have the distance, but the accuracy was the thing, and he showed great class there.
Yeah, great class and great composure as well to come up after the disappointment of the first one being narrowly off target, to have the courage to come up and nail that one. Well done to Christopher.
Yeah, kick out now from Jack Kelly. Break ball again. Marty McGrath hammers his fist through it, but picked up on that occasion by Eamon McHugh. Strong work by McHugh. Tackles go on now on Ryan Jones. He's been marked, of course, by Conor McGee. He's been held up, and the referee tells him to bring the ball forward, and he will do so. And crossfield ball now, Dom.
I suppose you can see that Derrygonnelly have went out of the game. Ryan Jones hasn't got his hands on the ball much in the last 10 minutes. So Derrygonnelly will be looking to Ryan to stamp his authority here on this one fairly soon.
Yeah, and as I say, Derrygonnelly don't do panic. They have all the experience in the world. They've been there, done that, wore the jersey and picked up all the trophies to reflect the fact that they just play their football, and they will do that to work themselves back into this game. And when you have the players of the quality of Micheál Glynn on your side, you're in a good position as Glynn lays the ball off, and Derrygonnelly look to create an attack, brought into the tackle there by McGovern, but the referee says play the advantage, and Lee Jones accrues that advantage and comes forward with it. Jones been faced up there. Good turn of pace by Jones. Lays it off to Casty. Casty has support there from Colin Jones. Colin Jones turns inside. Was that a free? Referee says no. And Casty putting in the tackles. And again now Colin Jones crossfield ball looking for Stephen McGullion, and it's turnover again. And Paul McCusker's the man, but he goes to ground. The ball isn't on the ground. What a battle that is between McCusker and Eamon McHugh. Brilliant stuff. And now the Ederney player goes to ground. I think it might be Marty McGrath. Goes to ground but picks up a head injury, and the referee has stopped the play, and rightly so. But what a battle there between Eamon McHugh and Paul McCusker. Two lions.
Oh, two lions of the game surely, and two very important players for both teams, and neither man would blink there, and I think Marty picked up an injury there as he went down on the ball, probably that he had no weight to go down on, and that's typical Marty McGrath. I think he might have picked up a knock. So a wee bit of treatment, like as we said before, but Marty, the digger couldn't put him down, so there's not much hope of any Derrygonnelly players putting him down.
Well, we hope you're enjoying this broadcast here on Fermanagh GA TV. This is the Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Championship Final. It might be low scoring, but it's hugely interesting. 1-3 to 1-1 with 25 minutes played. The game is flying by, Dom, and that's a good sign of the game.
Oh, dude, surely it's a very good contest, and we knew coming in here that Ederney were a different animal than they were from 2 years ago when that they were going to put it up to Derrygonnelly, and I suppose they've got themselves into the game now, and that's important from their point of view.
Cassidy picked up a heavy hit there, but the referee said play continue, and again it's Stephen McGullion who put in the tackle. He put in a heavy tackle a moment ago on Cassidy, and now he puts in another tackle, and Sean Flanagan not happy down below us, but Stephen McGullion has incurred the wrath of Niall Cullen, so he'll go into the book.
Yes, it was Finbar, I think it was Finbar Gillen who was driving forward there at real pace, and Stephen stepped out. But I think it's nothing more than a yellow card. Yellow card. So Stephen won't really mind that. He'd take one for the team.
Yeah, Stephen McGullion goes into the referee's notebook. He's the first man booked here in the 2020 Championship Final. Meanwhile, Chris Snow, who has scored a point, he's out the field. Of course, he played a lot of football for Ederney. Outfield, lays it off to Marty McGrath. McGrath coming forward. McGrath not noted for his shooting boots, but Marty McGrath delivers on county final day. What an effort from Marty McGrath from distance. I was just saying to him, he wasn't noted for his shooting. Well, he proved the commentator wrong.
Well, he's certainly turning back the clock here. Marty has had a tremendous first half here for Ederney, really driving it. Himself and Stevie McGullion are having a right royal battle here. But for Ederney's point of view, to have Marty go like this is a massive push for the team.
Michael Glenn picks up the ball. Glenn takes on his man, then gives a good intelligent ball inside, looking for Gary McKenna. McKenna has been anonymous in the game to date, but he'll have his time, there's no doubt about that, because he's a quality player. Derrygonnelly retain possession, but Ederney are working so hard all over the field, and on that occasion Paul McCusker's the man who's in and intercepts the ball, and now the penalty score, that's Mark McCauley. He's the man who comes forward. Not a good ball, tried to give it to Marty McGrath, but the turnover is forced, and Ryan Jones comes forward. Good run by McHugh inside. McHugh has been fouled. Has support there from Lee Jones. Lee Jones now taking on his man. His man is Andy Cassidy. Jones twists and turns. Still Jones has support there from McKenna. Ball slipped inside. In fact, it was McGovern. McGovern back, it goes to McHugh. McHugh out one more time. Ball through the hands. Ball in the hands of Gary McKenna. McKenna 45 metres out. We've played 27 and a half minutes of this opening half. The scoreboard reads St Joseph's 1-4. Derrygonnelly 1-1 as we approach the half-time whistle, as Micheál Glynn cuts inside. Still Glynn twists and turns. Did he hold it too long? Referee says no. Lays it back out there to Mickey Jones. Jones takes on his man, plays the ball over the far side of the field to Colin Jones. Colin Jones high dropping, dangerous ball inside. Chris Snow watches it all the way and deals with it very capably, and wins himself and his team a free.
Good defence there from Ederney. In fact, I was looking there, Jet, that 15 men inside their own 65. So they certainly have a very strong defensive template here, and Derrygonnelly's finding it hard to break it down.
Well, they're working so hard, and one wonders, can they sustain this for 60 minutes or more? They are working so hard all over the field, putting their body on the line, getting into challenges, and
they're certainly getting their numbers back, Jet. They're protecting their full back line very well, something that they didn't do against Timor in the semi-final. They've learned. That's a sign of a good team.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Protection was the name of the game, because they were susceptible in that game against Timor. As the ball is fed down, Ryan Morris takes his eye off the ball, and you can't afford to do that because Mickey Jones is there and he'll pick up the pieces. Feeds the ball out to Stephen McGullion. Man picked up the yellow card a moment ago, but again this time uncharacteristically Ryan Jones takes his eye on the ball, and picking it up as Marty McGrath, the man who got a point a moment ago, to Paul McCusker. In a quiet opening 10 minutes. You can't say that about the last 10. He's been everywhere. Still goes going forward is McCusker. Referee says play can continue. McCusker tries to thread a good ball into space. What an excellent ball down to Casty. Casty held up by Tiernan Daly. Casty turns, goes back, lays it out intelligently into the hands of Conor McGee. McGee goes back one more time into the hands of the twin Paul Maguire. Crossfield ball on this occasion from Paul McKervey over the far side of the field. Good ball, good movement. The movement is picked up and Declan McCusker gathers, brings it through 2, 3, 4 Derrygonnelly men. You can't afford to do that to Derrygonnelly. They'll eat you up in them sorts of positions. Great tussle again for the ball. This is brilliant stuff. The county final of 2020. Super stuff. Derrygonnelly coming out purposefully with the ball. Brilliant run on this occasion. Strong run by Lee Jones. Great pace. Gives it forward to Glynn. And a good hit on Glynn by Paul Maguire. And he brings the ball out over the sideline. Brilliant county final.
It's fantastic intensity. I was reading during the week where both managers were talking that they had to bring that massive intensity to the game. Brendy and Sean Flanagan, Mickey Cassidy, they were all talking about that massive intensity had to be brought. Both teams are bringing it. A fantastic contest, and Ederney, of course, will be well pleased to be through ahead.
Well, the board goes up down below, as indicates there's 3 minutes of additional time. I've seen something on Twitter a moment ago. Ederney fans are calling out for the ref to blow the full-time whistle. But there's no hope of that happening. And about the fact, one of the Ederney players that took the line ball has incurred the wrath of the linesman because he has brought it over the sideline, and therefore the ball will be thrown up.
Yeah, hot ball there. That'll be disappointing for Ederney.
Well, who else but Paul McCusker? Yeah, Paul McCusker back there winning the game, or winning the ball for the Ederney men.
Yeah,
they lead.
Paul and Marty McGrath in particular in this last 10 minutes have been super.
And this man here is having some game. That's Finbar Gillen. He gives it down to Paul McKervey. McKervey brings it into the tackle, but he's strong and purposeful. Gets it to Casty. Casty gets it over there to Macaulay. Macaulay tries to flick it, but well read by Mickey Jones. Brilliant by Mickey Jones, but the referee spotted an indiscretion earlier on, and he said the advantage didn't accrue, and therefore he's going to bring it back. I thought the 5 seconds had passed by maybe.
Yes, I thought so, but obviously Niall Cullen had different ideas, and Ederney broke at great pace, got a good turnover in there, broke at pace, and they're really playing with confidence. They're playing the ball about, they're moving it from one wing to the other, and
they're a different team, Dom, since the penalty.
Oh, absolutely. The penalty gave them the lifeline in the game, because they really they were struggling, they were getting very frustrated up until then, but once the penalty went in, confidence soared after that, and they're by far and away the better team in this first half, and will be going in probably 3 ahead, possibly if Chris gets this one, it'll be 4 ahead, and it'll be richly deserved.
Conversation down in front of us here, Sean Donnelly and Mickey Casty, and they're ably supported by the man from Esker. That's Christopher Kelly. Down below us, that's the man from Ederney, Chris Snow. Kicks another point over the bar. That's a marvellous score. That brings Chris Snow's tally to 2 points in this game. And Dom Corrigan, in the 9th minute, Stephen McGullion pointed to leave it 1-1 to a point, and since then Ederney have hit 1-4 without reply.
Oh, they've been on a real purple patch, going very well, and they'll be hoping to be going in 4 up at the break, because their player will have merited that.
Well, the referee says that the free goes the way of the Derrygonnelly men, and you can't fault Niall Cullen. He's kept up with play, done very, very well throughout. Ball fed forward, picked up by Glynn. Strong challenge on Glynn there by Paul Maguire, and it's one that the referee won't be too content with, one would think, but I don't think he's going to put him in the book, is he?
I think Derrygonnelly would be looking to get Mihal on the ball a wee bit more, because if they can get him on a one-on-one inside, it'll be a big threat. Gary McKenna, who was excellent in the semi-final, very good in the quarter-final as well, he hasn't got himself into this game at all, so that's a concern for Derrygonnelly. They'll be looking to get Gary into the play much more.
Yeah, well, Shane McGullion missing from the side, of course, too. Garvin Jones, both huge players for this Derrygonnelly team. Neither of them featuring here today, as the ball is won there again by one of the twins. That's Michael Maguire. Ball goes to ground, but picked up on that occasion by Stephen McElroy. Referee calls for the ball. It's half time, and the Ederney subs down in front of his dog get to their feet, give huge applause to their team. They will be very, very satisfied. 1-5 to 1-1, a 4-point lead at half time. Well, they will be delighted.
They will be very pleased, Jed. After a poor start to the game, where they went behind to the early Glynn goal, they've really taken over. And as you say, Jed, after the penalty went in, it's been all Ederney since, and they're fully deserving of of the 4-point lead. And Mickey Cassidy, he will be delighted to be going in there at half-time, because the players will be in absolutely in great form. And I suppose you'd have to give credit as well to Chris Kelly. Chris is the trainer. They look to be really sharp here tonight. Their first touch, their movement, their pace, all of that is good. And they've got Sean Downey, Sean McGrath, and my own work colleague Ederney McGee is on the stats with them. So they have a strong backroom team there. They'll keep them grounded, because the one thing you can be sure of, Jet, there's an experienced camp up here to our left. The Harps will not be going anywhere yet. They're 4 down. They know that they haven't really performed here in this first half. After a bright opening, they faded out of it. A lot of their big players haven't stepped up here at all, but they're champions for a reason, and they'll be back. They'll come back with a strong third quarter. That'll be their big target now.
Well, it's all to play for. It's half time here in the Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Championship Final. We will take a break, and then we will join our guests at pitch side, where Kieran Maguire is joined by Malachy O'Rourke and Mark Henry. So 1-5 to 1-1 in favour of Ederney at half time.
Would like to send their best wishes to all teams in this weekend's Club Championship Finals. Check out some of the amazing new car offers we have now available, and visit us to take a test drive. Get the revamped, restyled and stunning Hyundai i10 from only £192 deposit and £192 per month. Or what about the awesome new Ford Puma, winner of What Car of the Year 2020, yours from only £239 deposit and £239 per month. Thinking of going electric? Why not visit us and take a test drive on the brilliant and fuel-efficient Hyundai Ioniq Hybrid. This can be yours for £295 deposit and £295 per month. Whoa, the all-new Ford Kuga is proving so popular. You really need to check out this brilliant, fun, family SUV that you can pick up from only £339 deposit and £339 per month. Monaghan Bros, driving Fermanagh GAA forward as official Club Ederney brand partners and proud suppliers of the Fermanagh GAA kit van for over 15 years.
Dom, Mark and Malachy. Mark, after that first half, Ederney no doubt are going to be the happier team.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, Kieran. They will be absolutely delighted, and you know, they're full value for the lead at the minute. There's no doubt they have closed out Derrygonnelly up front. They have shown huge hunger in the middle of the field. They're gobbling up practically all of the breaks. And you know, they missed a few chances early on in the half, but as the half wore on, they became a wee bit more composed, won a few frees, converted them, and got 1 or 2 from play as well. So look, they will be very, very pleased now at half time, there's no doubt about that.
From a Derrygonnelly perspective, Malachy, all's not lost yet, and they do have the experience to come back. Maybe a word about a couple of the changes Derrygonnelly made coming into this here. They've sprung some of their younger players. They haven't really took the game by the scruff of the neck.
No, they haven't. Derrygonnelly will be very disappointed with their performance in the first half against Kinnaul. Even though they mightn't have been necessarily shown on the scoreboard, they were playing very well. Even up front, they were missing the chance. Tonight, they're not even getting a lot of the chances. You know, they're not playing as well. The changes that they made, I'm sort of a wee bit surprised that Gareth McGovern actually picked up Brian Morrison. It was him that gave away the foul then for the penalty, which was a crucial score in the game. But look, before the game we said Derrygonnelly came in as favourites. Ederney, if they want to win the game, we're going to have to put in a big performance. So far they're putting in that big performance. Real urgency around the field. They're hungrier for the ball. They're dominating around the middle of the field. And I suppose it's the reverse of the Kinnaul game. And the Kinnaul beat Derrygonnelly in the league match and came in then, and then Derrygonnelly ready for them. I saw the match televised earlier on the year where Derrygonnelly beat Ederney very easily one night. Whereas Ederney have come in tonight and are really up for the game. And Derrygonnelly, it's a massive challenge for Derrygonnelly.
From an Ederney perspective, Mark, they went behind very early to a very well taken goal from Micheál Glynn. But after that, a lot of Derrygonnelly's passes haven't gone to hand. Some of those crucial margins that they talk about, it's just not working out for them.
No, it's not. And funny you mentioned the Derrygonnelly goal there, and that was a typical Derrygonnelly score. You know, they showed huge patience, worked the ball across a number of times, and then Micheál Glynn does what he does really, really well. He times his run and comes on just at the right time, and of course he finished it with aplomb. And I looked at that stage then that Derrygonnelly would go on maybe to dominate the first half, but Ederney got themselves stabilised, worked their way into the game.
Martin McGrath's playing a lot of that in midfield. He's directing quite a bit.
He is, of course. He's having a huge influence in the game. And you know, you asked me about leaders before the game, Kieran, and we talked about the McCuskers and we talked about Marty McGrath, and they're showing it out here. You know, Paul has had a huge second quarter, come into the game really, really well. Declan has caused all sorts of problems. Connell Jones was on him initially. They've moved Connell off Declan now because he had been causing so many problems. He still continues to cause problems, mind you. So, you know, Ederney will be very pleased, but as Malachy says, Derrygonnelly will be very, very disappointed.
Well, as we approach the second half, can Ederney hold on to this win victory?
Well, look, again, Malachy said it's a massive challenge for them. You know, Derrygonnelly are a hugely experienced team. They've got 10 minutes now at half time to sort things out. They will certainly come out full of fire at the start of the second half, so it'll be a tough one for Ederney to hang on.
Yeah, well, Ederney couldn't have asked to be in a better position. They're 4 points up in a county final. They've 30 minutes to go, so everything's in their favour. But Derrygonnelly will not go down without a fight.
Back to Jaron Dome.
Welcome back here to the commentary position in Brewster Park. We're located here behind the John Veazey stand. We're getting ready for the second half of action here. Just a few quick call outs. I'm just picking up a few messages there. Brandy Maguire tuning in, a great Ederney man. Watching from Cooley, he says. Ray Smith, can you say hello to Dervla Smith on the Strathclyde flatmates in Glasgow, hoping for a better second half of the Harps. And another one here from Father Gary Donegan. Keep her lit, Jaron Dome, uniting Fermanagh Gaels all over the world. Sadly missing my first final since childhood. As Niall Cullen throws the ball in and we're on the way in the second half. Will it be an historic 6 in a row for Derrygonnelly Harps, or will it be the first final victory since 1968? Well, we should know in a half an hour, unless of course we end up with a replay, and who's to say it mightn't even be that, Dom.
Yes, well, Derrygonnelly are, come out here with real intent. They've pushed up hard, and they've got a turnover there already, and certainly they'll be looking to nail a score early on here, because in the first half they know that they didn't do themselves justice at all.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing that one again if we can at all. Maybe not, but it looked as if there was a foul there, but the referee indicated that there was nothing in it, and he's allowed play to continue, and then penalise the Ederney man for holding on the ball too long. So it'll be a free for Micheál Glynn. I think it'll be the man that'll hit this one with the trusty left boot.
Yes, Micheál will be well careful of putting this one over as well, and it'll be exactly what Derrygonnelly need, because they're 4 behind, and this will give them a very much a timely boost. But in that first half, and I'm sure Sean and Brendy and Emlyn, I see the three of them chatting down there, they'd have been saying that Ederney were by far the hungrier team in that first half, and unless we get our act together on that front alone, we're going to be conceding our title here.
And hunger and desire are huge ingredients on county final day, as Micheál Glynn comes off the outside of his left boot and drops, but does it drop to a Derrygonnelly man? I think it does on this occasion, and Gary McKenna is the man who retrieves it, gets it back to his captain. His captain is Ryan Jones. Jones coming out the field to make a little bit of space. Tiernan Daly makes a good run, gives him the option, off the shoulder, back inside it goes again. Derrygonnelly retain possession. Ball is in the hands of Garrett McGovern. McGovern, just 17 years of age, making his championship debut here, and what a day to make it in championship final day. Gives it to Lee Jones. Jones with terrific pace tries to take on his man. His man on that occasion was Mark McCauley, but McCauley forced him back out the field, and Derrygonnelly start this attack again, this time in the shape of Tiernan Daly. Daly tries a brilliant ball inside. Colin Jones picks it up. Jones looks at the post. Jones gets a shot away. That's a wonderful effort by Jones, but it drops into the safe hands of the man from Ederney between the sticks. That's Chris Snow.
And you have to admire Ederney, the way they're set up here. They had 14 men inside the 45 there, and there was no way through. Connell had to take a shot under pressure there, and it dropped in very easily there for Chris Snow.
Stephen McElroe goes back with the ball, and Derrygonnelly put on the press. McElroe needs support. Screaming for it here up the line is Paul Maguire, but the ball hasn't made it to him, and it's good play from Eamon McHugh. Brilliant hunger. We talk about hunger, Dom, and I'd say in the first couple of minutes of the second half, the Derrygonnelly men have displayed that hunger that maybe they didn't show in periods of the first half.
Certainly that wasn't evident in the Derrygonnelly play in the first half. The first two turnovers here already, they've got two frees out of it. This one is much closer in for Micheál Glynn, and Micheál is well capable of knocking this one over.
Big day for Micheál Glynn, playing in his first ever championship final. His father, of course, was involved in many for Derrygonnelly Harps. That's as the ball is kicked left footed from Glynn. It's dropping. It's kept in play over there and picked up there by the grateful hands of Decky McCusker for Ederney. And out come the Ederney men with Andy Cassidy over on the far side. Runs into his own man, brings the ball into trouble, has support there, but it's very noticeable that Derrygonnelly are putting on a very, very high press in this first half, looking to turn over at any stage they can. Good ball out in this occasion now by Chris Snow. Snow gives it forward there one more time. Ball now in the hands of Luke Hearn. Hearn coming forward, still in possession. Did he hold the ball too long? Very tight, congested area for Mark McCauley. McCauley is turned over yet again. Ederney need to move the ball quicker because Derrygonnelly are far sharper to the ball in this second half.
3 or 4 turnovers already, and the game's only 2-3 minutes old here in the second half. So Derrygonnelly have come out in the second half with real intent, and if they can get a score or two here, it's going to give them a great lift and put Ederney under a fair bit of pressure.
Ball kicked, brought forward and taken there by Ryan Jones. Jones gives it there to Gary McKenna. McKenna scored 2-3 in the championship today. That's a brilliant ball. The mark will be taken. Intelligent play. I don't know why that wasn't given, but maybe it worked out better. But just about getting his hands on that ball was Conor McGee. A vital interception for the Ederney men as the ball is given inside. Decky McCusker is pulled down, and Stephen McGullion could be in bother.
There was definitely a break on there. Stephen has already picked up a yellow card. He could get a second one here, and it could be the end of Stephen's championship final here.
Yeah, well, Niall Cullen is taking his time, but I believe that it'll be a second yellow card, as Dom has outlined, for Stephen McGullion. And despite the good start that Derrygonnelly have had to this second half, they probably will now be reduced to 14 men, which makes this an even bigger uphill task. Yes, indeed, it's a second card and hopefully a red. So huge moment in the game, possibly.
Oh, absolutely, because that'll give Ederney now an extra bit of cover at the back. But as we often seen before, Jet, the 14 men oftentimes lift the performance, and that's exactly what Derrygonnelly will be looking to do now.
Yeah, and you can never, as I keep saying throughout this game, you can never write off Derrygonnelly Harps. They are the pinnacle of club football in Fermanagh, and they have won 5 championship titles in a row. They have won 9 or 8 in their history, looking to get their 9th today. The ball is in the hands of Mickey Jones. Jones, he'll fight to the death for Derrygonnelly Harps. Lives it to his captain. His captain is Ryan Jones. Takes the kick to Ian McKenna. McKenna. McKenna coming forward, fisting forward to Micheál Glynn. Immediately coming up the ball, the tackles there is Paul Maguire, but Glynn does well, spins round, the ball goes in front, still retains possession, still travelling with the ball is Micheál Glynn, looking to get onto the left boot, lays it back there one more time to Gary McKenna. McKenna, Derrygonnelly Harps trail by 4 points. They're down to 14 men. We've played 6.5 minutes of this second half. Ball slipped inside to Ryan Jones. Coming the hour, coming the man. Jones is the captain. Jones lays it off. Good man running inside is Decky Casti. Casti and Snow will compete for this. Up the go for it. And Snow wins the ball. And Decky Casti has drifted into a brilliant position there. And had he been found, the net would have been rattling.
Oh, absolutely. There was a great opportunity there. But Ederney, to be fair to them, have got the numbers back. They're keeping the pressure on the ball carrier at all times, and I must say Christopher Snow's handling is very good all night there, and that's a plus for Ederney.
The one thing that would worry Ederney is the Ederney management is they haven't really got out of their half in these opening 7 minutes, and they're not going to get out again because they've been turned over once more. This has been a brilliant start by the men from Derrygonnelly, but they've lost possession over the far side with Ederney Casti. Crossfield ball now, looking there for a brilliant ball from Paul McCusker. McCusker has support, that support is Paul McCarvey. Still McCusker, Willie popping over the bar, cuts inside, still he goes, McCusker, saved by Jack Kelly. Brilliant save by Jack Kelly, and surely when Paul McCusker looks at that, he will think, why did I not pop the ball over the bar?
Oh, definitely, that was one that should have been clipped over the bar. Paul seeing the goal, I suppose the chance opened up to him. You can't fault him for for having the courage to take it on, but really a point there for Ederney would have been a massive score.
And here comes Derrygonnelly in the shape of their captain Ryan Jones. Can he now respond with a score? Jones trying to cut onto the right foot. Still Jones being held up by Declan McCusker. Ball fed out there to McKenna. Dummy solo by McKenna. Goes to ground. Brilliant tackle. This is brilliant. This is a great final. Brilliant, both sides really putting their bodies on the line. The work rate is ferocious, the tackling is ferocious. This is super final. It might be lost with high scores, but the intensity has to be believed. You have to see it to believe it. Paul McCarvey, we hope you're seeing it loud and clear here on Fermanagh GATV as the ball is in the hands of the Ederney man, and Paul McCusker threads a good ball inside. He will take the mark, and he is of course Sean Casti. Will he elect to go short? He does elect to go short. Threads it into Morris. Morris gives it back to Casti. Does he? No. Turns on outside of the right boot, goes for the post. The umpires decide that that's gone to the right hand side and gone wide. What a final we're having, Dom.
Oh, it's massive. Some great turnovers, great tackling, great bit of blocking, great intensity from both teams. And I suppose we've had no score yet in the second half, so whatever team gets this first score is going to be very important.
Yeah, 4 points between the sides. Next score, evidently they'll put 5 or 3 in it. As Dom says, that will be crucial. And Derrygonnelly come again over the terrace side of the field. In possession, coming forward is the wing half back Lee Jones. Lays it back again to McKenna. McKenna back inside. McGovern gives a short ball out, but again, what a turnover again on that occasion, forced there by Conor McGee, and the ball fell forward and space is opening up now. The ball is in the hands of Ryan Morris. Morris into Casti 1-on-1, but Mickey Jones gets back there. Casti from distance goes for the post. Casti's shot is on its way. Casti's shot is over the bar. What a super score from Sean Casti. He might only be 20 years of age, but you would swear he was 30 with the way he took that one, the experience he showed.
There was a fantastic score there, and it was worked very well to Cassidy, and he had the confidence to take on the shot, and a fantastic score, and a vital one because it now puts them 5 up.
5 up, and against the team that have 5 in a row and are going for 6 in a row. But I said earlier, Derrygonnelly, don't you panic. They're down to 14 men. They have 20 minutes left in this game. Plenty of time to recover the situation. The ball is in the hands of Garvin McGinley. Over to Tiernan Daly. Daly forces this one a little, drifts it inside. Brilliant piece of defending on that occasion by Luke Hearn. What a take by Luke Hearn. He's only a young lad of 19 years of age, but that's a brilliant take by the Ederney number 17 as the ball is fed inside now to Finbar Gillen. He's wearing 16. Normally that'd be the sub-keeper, but the ball is given away. Micheál Glynn picks it up. Glynn gets it inside. An opportunity now for Lee Jones. Jones twists and turns. He's on the edge of the day. Goes to the post. Jones' shot is on its way, but it's gone to the left-hand side and gone wide.
Yes, another turnover there. It's the first mistake that Finbar has made all night. He's been very impressive in this game, coming back from his injury to play as well as he has been very good for him. That was his first mistake. A chance fell there to Lee Jones, but it was wide, and Derrygonnelly need to be getting a score here now.
Well, they're going to make a substitution. As a matter of fact, they're going to make
Double.
2 substitutions.
Yeah.
And look at the man that they've introduced. Come at the hour, you come for experience, and that's Kevin Cassidy who's come on. Cassidy's come on for Gavin McGovern and Jack Love, who played in the county final last year. He comes on for Gareth McGovern. Your thoughts on those changes, Doug?
Yeah, well, Derrygonnelly knew that they had to do something here because they were out of the game. They're not getting scores, even though they're in control of possession. They're not getting scores. I think Kevin Cassidy's experience up there is going to be crucial, and I think that Derrygonnelly will be looking to get something out of Kevin here.
Well, high press again, but they have the extra man at this stage. Chris Snow is the man in possession. Ball in the hands of Maguire. Oh, back it goes. Turnover now. Opportunity here. The goalkeeper's out. Still going forward. Ball, Kevin Cassidy. Oh, but brilliant recovery there by Michael Maguire. But the referee said there was a foul area. But what a recovery from Michael Maguire.
Brilliant recovery there from Michael. There was a goal on that time. Ederney were just too slack, too careless coming out with the ball. They got punished because they can't afford that, because Derrygonnelly, to their credit, are showing massive hunger. They're contesting everything, and if you labour on the ball, you're going to be caught, and that was a prime example of it there.
Yeah, Leo Glynn kicks the ball over the bar, and Dom, if I told you that was Derrygonnelly's first score since the 9th minute of the first half, you would probably find it hard to believe.
Hard to believe, surely, because they were in control in that opening 10 minutes, and you have to say that for the most part they've been second best after, but since the break they've showed far greater hunger and probably deserve to be getting more than 1 point for all their play in that 10 minutes that we've played.
Yeah,
12 minutes.
12 minutes, 13 as a matter of fact. We've just ticked onto the 13th minute. Break ball again. Kieran Daly slips on the sod here in Brewster Park. Derrygonnelly in possession, 4 points between the sides. They've won it on 8 occasions, as I said before. The first in 95, then 2004, 2009, then 15, 16, 17, 18 and 19. Ederney have turned it over again. Ball in the hands of McCusker. Over to Cassidy. Men striding through the centre. One of them there is Conor McGee in acres of space. Can he be found? Brilliant tackle. Super tackle by Lee Jones. He's had a brilliant game for Derrygonnelly.
Oh, fantastic game, and he's had a great championship. He was one of their standout performers against Kinolly in the semi-final, and very effective there tonight. A very important turnover.
Very important turnover. On such things, on such small things, our games maybe possibly won and lost as the ball is fed forward. Decky Cassidy goes to ground over there on the far side. Tough, uncompromising tackle there from Stephen McElroe, and I would say Stephen McElroe might enter Niall Cullen's notebook for that tackle, but maybe not.
Yeah, well, he's possibly going to get a yellow card here for that one because he made no genuine effort to get the ball. He just took him out, so that's a yellow card, and it'll put Stephen under a bit of pressure. But you have to say that since half time, Derrygonnelly have been the better side. Ederney have been relying on the counter attack. They've got they've got the one score on the counter attack, but they've got to be using their chances a wee bit better, because Derrygonnelly are dominating possession, and Ederney can't go into their shell. And it's a classic case. It looks at the minute that Derrygonnelly have the extra man. Mm-hmm. But Ederney have the extra man, and we can't really see it here.
Yeah, Ederney are not using the space that some of their players are finding as well. They're retaining possession too long when they move into attack. As Stephen McElroe went into the referee's notebook, Conal Jones is the man in possession for Derrygonnelly. Ball fed across there to Tiernan Daly. Daly ships it over there to Jack Love, spreads the play over the far side to Decky Cassidy. Two Cassidy brothers on the side now, Decky and Kevin. The ball is in the hands of Aidan McKenna. McKenna flicks it forward, but another turnover on this occasion as Mark McCauley's the man who comes out with it, but he gives it away yet again. And coming forward now with it is Eamon McHugh. McHugh for Derrygonnelly in towards Cassidy, but it's well read on that occasion. Brilliant take, ball give inside. Mark McCauley slips it inside again. Twists and turns, does Finbar Gillen. Gillen goes to ground. Referee awards the free. But there's no room for error in this game. It's so intense.
Derrygonnelly are doing a massive high press on the Ederney defenders coming out, and they've turned them over quite a bit, but now Ederney are breaking.
Yeah, a little bit of space here on the near side of the field for Sean Cassidy operating. Brilliant roll over the far side, but it's a laboured enough attack from the Ederney. McCauley slips it into Maguire. Maguire, the corner back, has a man over. What'll he do? He laid back to Cassidy. Cassidy kicked one from there a moment ago, but that was on his right foot. This time he thought about the left, gives it out to McKervey. McKervey with the left foot, but it goes to the left hand side and goes wide. Opportunity, and well, Dom, water break, second half. What a game! Well, it's low scoring, but Hugely interesting.
Both teams have got a point, in the third quarter. And I suppose from Ederney's point of view, they'll be happy enough that they haven't conceded any more than a point, because Derrygonnelly dominated possession there for most of that. But Ederney look seriously dangerous on the counter attack. They're very well set up defensively. At times they've 13 men back, 14 at times. They're breaking quickly, but they'll be disappointed. Ederney will be disappointed. They're coughing up cheap ball coming out there and not punishing Derrygonnelly for the turnovers that they're making back there.
And I suppose from a Derrygonnelly perspective, they have had all the possession, but they've only registered 1 point, and that came from a free. They haven't been scoring from play. As we look at some of the young Ederney supporters, I see Thomas Donnelly there. There's one man I would know on that group of young supporters. Marty McGrath's young son there as well. All very excited, and that's what county final day is all about.
And the big player for Ederney, the likes of Marty, the likes of Finbar Gillen there, Conor McGee, Decky and Paul McCusker, they've all stepped up. Sean Cassidy has been impressive here as well in that third quarter. He scored that excellent point for them. They need to get Sean on the ball more. Ryan Morris, to be looking to get him and Mark McCauley, and to be looking to get Paul McCusker into this as well, because this is it now. There's 17 minutes on the clock, and
a huge 13 minutes left in this game, plus whatever Niall Cullen adds on to determine where the Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Championship trophy, the New York Cup, where will it end up in 2020? Will it go back to Derrygonnelly for the 6th time in a row, or will it go to Ederney for the first time in 52 years? We should know in 13-14 minutes, as one of the Ederney players picks up a yellow card over there. It's Ryan Morris, second Ederney player to pick up a yellow card. But we'll concentrate on the play. We'll concentrate on Decky Cassidy in possession of the size 5 O'Neill's ball. Gives it inside to his captain. His captain is Ryan Jones. Strong tackle again on this occasion by Conor McGee. And McGee may well become the 3rd player to go into the referee's notebook. And they need to be careful with these.
Absolutely. I think Ederney just need to be careful. They're picking up a lot of yellow cards. They have a man up at the minute, but the referees always have a tendency, if they get the chance, to balance it up. And Ederney's living on the edge there at the minute with these yellow cards.
Yeah, 3 players into the book in the past couple of minutes. Stephen McElroone, Conor McGee and Ryan Morris, as Derrygonnelly come with possession over on the far side. Ball is in the hands of Kevin Cassidy. Cassidy, 45 years of age, believe it or not, played on the 1995 final, lays a good ball forward, but the referee says there's a free there, and the free will give Derrygonnelly another opportunity to make this a 3-point game.
That was Kevin's experience there. He held on to the ball well. He was under a lot of pressure, but he didn't cough it up, he didn't give it away, and he earned his side a valuable free. You'd have to say that Conor McGee so far has did a very good job on Ryan Jones, and we always said that if Ryan Jones could be curtailed, then the opposition have a chance. And Conor, to be fair, has curtailed them well, but Ryan is the type of player that always comes strong in the last 10 minutes, and this is the time now that Conor McGee needs to be very much vigilant to keep Jones quiet.
Colin Jones is the man who takes the free. That's Colin's first point of the game. So Michael Glynn with a goal and a point, and Stephen McGullion with a point. And remember, Stephen McGullion is now sitting on the bench because Derrygonnelly are down to 14 men. But Colin Jones with that point means that it's a 3-point game, as Chris Snow has been forced to kick the ball long. And again, Derrygonnelly win possession with Garvin McGinley. They are in the ascendancy here.
Derrygonnelly definitely in the ascendancy. They're cleaning up and break ball around the middle, and definitely the dominant side here.
Well, I wondered whether Ederney could sustain the endeavours that they put into the first half of this game. Well, they're certainly on the back foot and they're retreating. They've only 1 player up the outside their own 45, and Derrygonnelly have now pushed up with all their players. The ball slipped inside there to McKenna. McKenna gets it back to Decky Cassidy. Cassidy gets a shot away, but it's gone to the left. It's gone to the left and gone wide. Whether you're from Derrygonnelly, whether you're from Ederney, wherever you are in the world, we hope you're enjoying this broadcast on Fermanagh GATV. coming to you live from Brewster Park in association with our broadcast partners, that is NSER, creating careers in glass. I see Mickey Cassidy, Sean Donnelly trying to get Ederney further up the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Mickey Cassidy's going mad there with his players for sitting back too deep, and he knows that you cannot sit back and expect to defend this right to the end. You have to, the best way to defend is to attack it. He wants them to do far better around the middle third of the pitch here.
McHugh winning the break ball and also winning his team a free over on the far side of the field. Substitution coming on down below us is number 6, Shane McGullion. Well, I was advised that Shane may feature. He's struggling with a knee injury, Dom, but he is going to feature for the last 9 minutes.
Well, that's some to be bringing on a man of Shane's quality, and that's a big plus. I see it's Gary McKenna is coming off, so they'll be looking to get Shane on the ball here, because Derrygonnelly are winning so much possession here, and Shane is very good at cutting through defences, and they'll be looking to get him on the ball here, because they're very much in the ascendancy. They just need to be getting the scores.
Yeah, and they're trying to penetrate again as Colin Jones lays it off there. There's an opportunity for McGullion. He's only on the field of play. Did he throw the ball? Referee says no. Marty McGrath goes for it, picked up there, and eventually Paul McKervey's the man, comes out and gives it over to McGrath. McGrath takes on the tackle. Good ball into space. Derrygonnelly, Ederney of numerous players here. To Paul McCusker. Paul McCusker is showing Castillo set up. What does McCusker do? Gives it inside. Shoot, it's a goal. Yes, indeed it is. It's a goal for Ederney and a goal for Sean Cassidy. Look at the scenes below us. Look at the scenes on the sideline. What a score that is for the Ederney men. That could be historic. Here we go, Dom.
Oh, I think so. It was a classic counter-attack move, and it's what Ederney are brilliant at. And no better man on the ball than Paul McCusker. Across to Sean Cassidy. He rounded his man. Brilliant scorer. Brilliant scorer, and really Derrygonnelly now, it is put up to them big time.
Well, it's double scores here in Brewster Park. This could be the evening of delight for the men from Ederney. They lead this championship final by 12 points to 6, 2-6 to 1-3. They have 7 minutes plus whatever time the referee adds on to hold on to this lead. The ball is in the hands of the Ederney man. Dom, what's your thoughts?
And what a contribution that Marty McGrath made to that goal. It was him that was involved in the turnover. He carried it forward. He got the ball fisted in. There was 3-4 men over there, but McGrath was the man. The strength and the power and the experience then to use the ball. So well done to McGrath.
Declan McCusker lays the ball off. Referee allows play to continue. Ederney have the ball over the far side of the field. They're coming strong again. A speculative shot, not the best shot in the world, half blocked down there by the Derrygonnelly men. Is there a response in Derrygonnelly? Well, we will know in the next few minutes. They're in possession with Micheál Glynn. Micheál Glynn has an able runner alongside him. That is Lee Jones. Still Glynn goes. This is brilliant from Glynn. Still Glynn goes. Lays it off there to Jones. Jones tries to cut inside. Jones still going, but he pulls it off the outside of his right boot, and the ball has gone to the right hand side and gone wide, and the referee is dealing with an issue here behind the goals.
Yeah, well, that was a good move there from Derrygonnelly. Micheál carried it forward very well, slipped it across to Lee Jones, and to be fair to Lee, he knew, listen, we need a goal here, and he went for it, but it skewed off his boot and wide. A let off for Ederney, and really Derrygonnelly need to go, there's 24, just about 5 minutes of normal time left, and it's hard to see how Derrygonnelly can get back into this. They need goals, and they need them fast.
Yeah, another quality player coming onto the field to play, Ronan McHugh. What a strong squad this Derrygonnelly team have, and I see Ederney making a substitution down below us. It's going to be Declan Deasley, the very experienced Declan Deasley, who's going to be coming on in a moment or so.
Yeah, Declan Deasley is a very experienced player, but here come Ederney again. Christopher Snow must single him out as well. He's been brilliant down night.
Finbar Gillen feeds it inside, but it's gone over the head of Paul McKervey. But coming out there and tussling for it is Ryan Morris, but Jack Kelly minds his business in there and deals with it confidently and capably and gets it out to Cassidy. Cassidy gets it over to McHugh, who has entered the field of play a moment ago. McHugh, good ball over this near side of the field. Aidan McKenna comes forward with it. 5 minutes to go in the county final. Derrygonnelly looking for 6 in a row. McHugh feeds it inside to Kevin Cassidy. Kevin Cassidy's featured in all 9 finals that Ederney have been involved in, or that Derrygonnelly have been involved in. But again, back there, showing his experience was Marty McGrath, getting Ederney on the front foot again, and coming out with it there is Ryan Morris. He picked up a yellow yellow card a few moments ago. That'll not bother. Paul, brilliant run from Paul McCusker. McCusker on the left foot to tap it over the bar, but yes indeed he has. He has tapped it over the bar, and if anyone deserved a score in the county final, well then it was Paul McCusker.
Oh, absolutely. He's been a real leader here tonight, but a leader for this Ederney team over the last best part of the last decade, and for him to get that score there, you could see maybe the clinching score, because it puts them 7 up, and it's hard to see how Derrygonnelly are going to rescue this one.
Well, Derrygonnelly have been worthy champions for the last number of years. Coming off as Paul McKervey. Going on the field of play is Declan Deasy, the very experienced Declan Deasy. Fresh legs for the men from Ederney. We look at the watch. It says we've played 26 minutes and 23 seconds in this second half of the Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Championship final. Wherever you are in the world, we hope you're enjoying this broadcast. There's Ederney fans all over the world tuned in. Marty Moss, of course, in New York. He'll be on the edge of his seats watching this here. So too will numerous other men, but we'll follow the play for the moment as Micheál Glynn feeds the ball forward. Opportunity for Derrygonnelly. It's goals they need at this stage, and it's their captain who has it. That's Ryan Jones. Jones goes to ground, and Jones is awarded a free, and Jones will want to get in his feet very quickly and take this kick, but I think the sensible option will be to pop it over the bar and bring it back to a 6-point game.
Oh, absolutely, they need to tap it over. And listen, I've seen dramatic finishes before, and there's nothing to say that you could get 2 goals in injury time or whatever, so it's important for Derrygonnelly just to clip this one over the bar and take it back to 6 points and give them a fighting chance going into the last 4 or 5 minutes of.
Colin Jones pops it over the bar, brings it back to a 6-point game. 1-4 to 2-7. Second point of the game for Colin, both from frees. 27 minutes played. Kick out by Chris Snow. Up the go for it. Ball won again. Brilliant take there by Mickey Jones. Derrygonnelly will fight to the bitter end here in Brewster Park. Ryan Jones, the captain of the team. Good ball inside to McHugh. McHugh looking for support off the shoulder. Wasn't there, but the still managed to retain possession with Aidan McKenna. McKenna out to Kevin Casti. Casti looks up. Gives it back there to Tiernan Daly. Daly a man in space is McHugh. He's been good since he came on. Still McHugh. Shot blocked down. Back it goes there. And the ball is kicked over the bar by Tiernan Daly, but I think the referee had pulled it back. But Ronan McHugh has looked lively.
Ronan McHugh has been very impressive, and he's looking to get on the ball and looking to break lines as well. And he's got a couple of opportunities there, and he's set up a lot of good stuff for Derrygonnelly. They've got the point there. Now have it back to 5.
Yeah.
So
Micheál Glynn pops it over the bar. Another substitution coming on. That is Glynn's 1-2 he's got this evening in the championship final. 24 is the man coming on. That's Stephen Gilroy. And Gilroy will replace number 12, Decky Casti. And well, that's one man who has left everything out on the field. What a stalwart is Decky Casti.
Oh, Declan, every game he plays, he leaves everything on the pitch, and turned in another sterling performance there tonight. But there's 5 points in it. If Derrygonnelly can manage to get a goal here, it's game back on again. But they really need a goal now. But the thing about Ederney, Jet, they're set up very well defensively. They've 13-14 men back inside the 45, and they're happy enough maybe to give away the point, but they're very determined not to leak the goal.
They lost, of course, to Enniskillen in 2006. They lost to Derrygonnelly in 2018. Their path to the final this year seen them beat Ballinalek 111-2-2 and raised the awful memories of the defeat in the championship last year. They beat Timor 216-3-7. We're hearing there'll be 5 minutes of additional time. The board goes up down below us. It is confirmed that there will be 5 minutes of extra time. If you're from Derrygonnelly, you're delighted. If you're from Ederney, you're holding your head in your hands and you're thinking 5 minutes, we're leading by 5 points. Can we hold on? Colin Jones is the man in possession, gives a good ball inside. Glynn goes to ground. Referee says play can continue. No, calls it back, and this will be another free, and this will bring it back to 4.
This will take it back to 4, and Conal Jones is certainly causing plenty of trouble in there. And what Derrygonnelly will be looking to do is get quick ball into Conal, get the runners coming off him, and they've every chance here of narrowing it down, and they will still get their chance. Black card, looked like a black card there, and it is a black card for Paul Maguire, number 4, isn't it?
Is he coming off? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there'll be 14 against 14, and now Colin Jones is the man who will take this kick. So much happening here in this county final. Here comes Jones to bring it down to a 4-point game. The ball is kicked over the bar. Colin Jones leaves it now 1-6 to 2-7. 4-point game, Dom Corrigan.
And if it was any other team losing by 7 points with about 7 minutes to go, they'd have thrown the towel at it. But that's why Derrygonnelly have been champions. That's why they're going for a 6 in a row. They're not going to lie down. They're going to play right to the death.
Well, Paul Maguire, he's had a terrific game. He is the man who leaves the field of play. He has picked up a black card. He will feature no more. It was 2-7 to 1-3 with 26 minutes played in the second half. It's now 2-7 to 1-6 because Derrygonnelly have hit the last 3 scores from Colin, 2 from Colin Jones, 1 from Mickey Glynn. And now they're in possession of the football over on the far side of the field. Another opportunity for them to come forward. Cassidy has it. That's Kevin on this occasion. The brothers off the field to play at this stage. Ball fed back here to Michael Jones. Michael Jones, it's points they need at this stage, and then maybe think about going for the goal as McHugh gives it inside to Micheál Glynn. Glynn on the left foot. Glynn twists and turns onto the right foot now. Still Glynn being forced back out. Ball comes out the whole way to Jack Love. Love 45 metres out, tries to cut inside, still going, strong purposeful run from Love, still going, Love, brilliant block by Mark McCauley. What a block by McCauley. And now Ederney have the chance on the counter, and it's Decky McCusker coming forward with it. Ball is in the hands down below is there of Sean Cassidy. A hit on Cassidy as he played the ball, but Decky McCusker is the man who will bring it up the field and relieve the pressure on the Ederney men. Ball fed forward into Ryan Morris. Can Morris finish? The answer is yes! Ryan Morris is the man who pops the ball over the bar, relieves the siege.
Fantastic score, but well done there to Decky McCusker. He forced the turnover and drew forward in the 32nd minute of the second half, near 65 minutes of football played. He showed massive energy there, massive leadership, and that's the stuff that Ederney have been given tonight. We've seen it all around the pitch. They've had leaders all around the pitch, none more so there than the number 5, Declan McCusker.
Well, Ryan Morris, the man who made that contribution, he's the man that has made way for the Ederney men, and now they lead by 2-8 to 9. 2-8 to 9 as the ball is fed forward there. Colin Jones is the man in possession. Colin Jones looking for another score. Ball fed inside across the go, and the ball is knocked out. And Don Corrigan, we'll have to give some thought to a man of the match. Andy Ferris is the man who's on the field of play. Good for Ferris to get a run out in the championship final. I see his mother Geraldine down below us. She's like a woman having kittens down there, is all I can say, as the ball is fed forward. Dom, your thoughts?
Well, for man of the match, Ederney have about 4 or 5 contenders. Certainly they've had so many good players, but at this stage it would be certainly hard to look past Marty McGrath. What a lion of a man, and what a performance he's turned in tonight. Because the thing I liked about him is he really got them going in the game when they were struggling, and for me, Marty McGrath is our man of the match.
Well, we'll go with that one, Dom. Marty McGrath, as the ball is fed forward, and Ederney are in dreamland. They're in possession of the football. A man who I was probably considering was Paul McCusker. Him and Marty McGrath at that stage in the game that you talk about, they were the men who brought the Ederney back into this game as another substitution is run on. It's Owen McGee, and this will be a dream few minutes here for Ederney. Remember, they last won it in 1968 when they beat Newton Butler 3-7 to 2-6. That day the pitch was full of what you would call the max. There was 6 McGraths, there was 4 Maguires, there was 2 Monaghan's, there was Father Joe McVeigh, and then there was 1 Goller, and that was Brendan Goller. That made the 15. 6 of the 7 McGrath brothers playing. But today it'll be new heroes. There'll be Snows and McElroons and Maguires and McCuskers, Cassidys and McGee's and McGraths and McCauley's, and Morris and Cassidy, and of course McKervey. They will be the new men that will make history in Ederney St Joseph's history as the ball is in the hands of Micheál Glynn. Dom, we'll let you in a moment. The good ball inside to McGullion. McGullion feeds it across. Opportunity for Colin Jones. Jones looks for the brother. Jones holds on to it. Jones takes a shot, but Chris Snow is there to hold it. Safe and calm and assured. And we're into the final minute of the game.
Snow was in some game there. He's been excellent. He kicked 2 excellent points, and a great save there as well. But Becky McCusker, Paul McCusker, they've been brilliant. Conor McGee just came off there. His brother Roland went on. He had a brilliant match there because he really put the clampers on the Ryan Jones, and he's been the first player in the championship final in the last 6 years to be able to do that.
Yeah, you have to admire the tenacity and the hunger and the determination of this Ederney side. They have been the bridesmaids for so long and never the bride, but tonight they're going to be the bride because they're going to win the New York Cup in Brewster Park in 2020. The Quinn Building Products Fermanagh Senior Football Championship final is coming to a conclusion, and a little bit of nastiness at the end to spoil it on it. I hope it isn't spoiled because it has been a brilliant game as the referee Niall Cullen tries to sort out a little bit of nonsense that's going on, and to be honest, Dom has been played in great spirit.
Played in great spirit. There hasn't been a foul stroke in the game, and both teams deserve massive credit for that. And it's been a great final, Jet. It's been massively, seriously, keenly contested. But Ederney, worthy champions. They played with a massive hunger, massive intensity. And once the penalty goal went in, they got themselves settled into the game, and they were the much better side. You have to give them full credit for it.
Darren McCusker, they rode out the storm at the beginning of the second half as Darren McCusker makes his way onto the field of play, and he replaces Sean Casti, and Casti gets a hug from his father. His father is the manager of the team, that's Michael Casti. He gets a hug from Sean Donnelly down below us as well. Donnelly, a native from Berra, but has done so much work in Ederney, and now it's over. Look at the scenes below us. Ederney have done it. Always the bridesmaid and never the bride, but that will change in 2020 because Ederney have came from the abyss to win this final against the team that couldn't be beat, or so they said. They were going for 6 in a row. Nobody thought that Ederney, apart from maybe the Ederney supporters, thought they were going to win this one, but they have won it, and they've deservedly won it, John Corrigan.
All worthy champions, there's no doubt about it, and they give them full credit because year after year there in the last 5 they were knocking on the door, and they got a setback and another setback, but they kept coming back, and you have to give them great credit for that. And they turned in a performance the other night that was absolutely brilliant, and I just see Finbar Gillen coming over there. What courage! And I suppose courage is the word that we talk about Ederney in this particular team. Lesser teams would have faded out of it, but Finbar epitomised the courage of this team. 5-6 weeks ago he was in the hospital, had an operation on a broken jaw. Less than 6 weeks later he's back, making a massive contribution to Ederney winning their first championship since 1968, and that shows you the type of hunger that was in this Ederney team, and nobody would begrudge it to them there. And I see Brendy Rasdale, Sean Flanagan, Emlyn Burns all over there congratulating the Ederney. They know that they were the better side on the night, worthy champions, and there'll be a big party around Ederney for a while.
Well, 52 years is a huge period of time, and Ederney have tried, and they have built this team over the years, and they have failed in 2006, they failed in 2008, but they have now bridged that gap. And look at Marty McGrath in front of his supporters. He's 39 years of age, he has done everything, he is an all-star to his name, but this is what it's all about. The club that you started with, the club is what you come back to. You may do plenty in between with your county, but it's all about the club, and the scenes down below us are incredible. It's just so sad that the supporters can't get onto the field of play to be with these players, but this is just incredible scenes, and worthy champions.
Oh, worthy champions and heroes, every one of them, and none more so than Marty McGrath. And he came over there to salute the fans because disappointed that the fans couldn't get in onto the pitch afterwards. But there's so many heroes out there tonight, and to beat a fantastic team like Derrygonnelly, they needed performers all around the pitch, and they had them. And I see Mickey Cassidy down there with the sons. What a proud night it is for the Cassidys. Mickey the manager and the 2 sons playing, and it was a performance that I'm sure he was dreaming about and hoping that he'd have got. By God, he got some performance out of them.
Well, Marty McGrath has handed the Man of the Match award. Down below us there by Kieran Maguire. He has his young son beside him, and he's just overjoyed. That's the only words I can use for Marty McGrath at the minute. Overjoyed. It just means so much to him.
It means so much to him, and you know, the man is near 30, 38, 39 years of age. He played like a 19-year-old there tonight. The energy that he showed, the work rate, his drive, his leadership, all of that there, but he was ably assisted. By God, he had some soldiers there with him. He had the two McCuskers, Decky and Paul. They were fantastic. Conor McGee, you had Mark McCauley, Ryan Morris, Sean Cassidy, Paul McKervey, excellent. Where I see Chris Snow down there with Shawnee, and Chris has been a great servant to Ederney down through the years, great servant to Fermanagh as well, and so many of these players, Jed, on the Ederney team have been massive for their club and for their county, and it's great to see them have their night here.
And now we'll hand over to our county chairman, that's Greg Kelly, to talk us through the presentation ceremony.
I would like to thank a few thank yous first. The sponsors of the Senior Football Championship, Quinn Building Products, we're very grateful to you. To the match referee, Niall Cullen, and his team of officials, thanks very much for contributing to a very exciting county final. Host Club Inniskill and Gales, and all the stewards and gate persons are voluntary people who helped to prepare Brewster Park and to run the event on the day. To my fellow officers on county management, CCC and Fermanagh GA TV, I thank you all for your efforts on our La Moore Special Day. I would say first of all commiserations to Derrygonnelly Harps. You have had a marvellous spell, 5 championships in a row. Just wasn't to be today for you. You probably knew that this day was going to come at some stage, but you can be very proud of the way that you have won 5 in a row and represented the county very, very well indeed over this last 5 years. So, nothing to be ashamed about. There's a lot of good young players, and undoubtedly, Derrygonnelly will be back. Congratulations to Ederney St Joseph's. It's been a long wait. 52 years. And the hunger was obvious there today. Your defeat 2 years ago probably helped in that respect. Very well deserved winners today. Very tenacious and energetic display. Fully deserved. Congratulations, Co-Argus. Just before I present the New York Cup, I want to call out the man of the match. He's not too far away from me, Marty McGrath. Remarkable achievement, I'd have to say. I don't know what age you are, Marty, but you've been about a long time, and this must be a highlight. Brilliant. Without further ado, I'd like to present the New York Cup, socially distanced, of course, to Captain and Foreign Ederney St Joseph, Declan McCusker.
Like, that'll do yous. I've waited a long time to get up here, so make yourselves comfortable. Actually, I didn't even write a speech because I didn't want to put the blight in myself, so I'm probably going to forget loads of things, but I'll try and rattle through it as quick as I can. First of all, I'd like to thank Enniskillen Gales and the County Board in the tough year that it was to get the whole fixtures run off and get the championship played. And the Enniskillen Gales for the pitch is in great shape there, so well done to them. Just a couple of words in Derrygonnelly. They've set the standard in Fermanagh for this last 5 years, and I only hope we can defend this trophy half as well as you have. Great team there, obviously. I thought this day might never come, but thank God we stood up today and took it. I've been on the losing team many a time, and to be honest, I think 3 cheers is about the worst thing you can hear, so just a round of applause for Derrygonnelly. I'd like to thank all the fans for coming out, supporting us. It's great to see you're all obeying social distancing there. Hey, and everyone at home watching, I know it's not been easy to get tickets, and I suppose the people here are the lucky ones, but we thank you for your continued support and hope that it keeps going the rest of the year and the following years coming. I don't know, I'll start, I suppose, with the backroom team, Ederney and Lawrence, for keeping the bodies in the pitch. It's not an easy job, boys at Conor McGee there. So fair play to them for keeping us all going. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Leonard McGrath. He's been there a long time, and he continues to support us, so thanks very much, Leonard.
Hi, Romans. I'd like to thank Chairman Sean Donnelly. He's come into the club a long time ago, and he's always pushed us to be the best we can be. And the whole committee, like the facilities we have now, are there to hopefully inspire the young ones and make sure that it's not another 52 years before someone from Ederney standing up here again. Chris Kelly came in 3 years ago, and the improvements we've made under him, his coaching and training has been unbelievable. The work that man puts in is absolutely outrageous, and I hope we can hold on to him for a bit longer. Thanks, Chris. The gaffer, Mickey Cassie, where is he? Don't worry about Mickey. Took the team to the county final in 2006. He took the county final in 2018, 2020. Mickey, you managed the county champions. Mickey completely turned the club. When he came in, Ederney had a bit of a drinking culture, and he managed to stamp it out. Obviously leading by example, he wouldn't like it himself. So thanks, Mickey. And the boys standing in front of me, I've dreamed about lifting this trophy for a long time, and I didn't imagine that the rest of my teammates would be standing 20 yards away from me, but what can I say? We came back after lockdown, and boys put in the miles every night. We started training groups of 6. Great effort put in, no balls, running, everything, and maybe the short season suited, but from it started, every man put their shoulder to the wheel. And you've got boys there, I don't want to single out anyone, but Murray has mentioned he's still going. He'll be 40 this time next year, and there's still plenty in the tank. Daggy Deasley's must be near 50. He told us in the huddle he's been trying to win the senior championship for 30 years. Half the boys weren't born, so, and obviously all the other lads, and there's plenty of Ederney boys who should still be playing about the country and who put their shoulder to the wheel maybe the last 10 or 12 years, so all of them boys as well, this is for you. And last but not least, I'd like to just say a quick thanks to Marty Morris and Sean Donnelly for sponsoring a nice wee half sip that you might see out the corner bar in the next couple of days. Time to take this thing home to a new place. Come on!
A great speech there, Dom, from Decky McCusker. A lot of raw emotion expressed, and you can just, it's palpable what this means to this Ederney team. Look, there they are, getting their hands on the New York Cup. First time in 52 years. I did say, Dom, that there was a lot of Macs in the last team, the McGraths and the Wires and the Monagans and the McVeighs, and of course Brendan Gunner. But these lads now have written their name in history.
Oh, these boys now are the new heroes in Ederney. The last heroes were in 1968, and they've now moved to one side, and it's the heroes of 2020. And Jet, hunger is a great sauce, and the hunger that those Ederney players displayed out there tonight from start to finish, and especially after, they were nervous at the start, but that was to be expected because there was a bit of pressure on them, knowing we don't want to fail to deliver again on the big stage. So that pressure showed in the opening 10 minutes. When the penalty goal went in, you could see the confidence soaring among them, and they produced a wonderful performance. It was as good a championship final performance as you see from a winning team anywhere, and you have to give as Decky alluded to there, massive credit to the management team, the backroom staff. Mickey Cassidy has stuck with those boys. He put in Chris with him and the selectors there. They've all been brilliant, and the quality on display out there tonight was a true reflection of the great work that went on there. But there's massive quality in that team. But the big thing for me was the leaders. There was massive leaders there, from the McCuskers, McGrath, McGee, the forwards. The question was asked, will the Ederney forwards cope with one of the best defences in club football in Ulster? And you have to say that they did, and they knocked off some very good scores, picked off some good scores, and their counter-attacking game, they were set up brilliantly. They had 13, 14, they frustrated the Derrygonnelly forward line, hit them on the counter-attack, marvellous scores, and the real worthy champions. And there'll be some party out of it, Ederney.
Real worthy champions, and we're joined by a couple of the youth of Ederney. They were with us here a couple of weeks ago. What have you to say? What have you to say? Right, folks, tell us this quickly. I want your names the whole way across. Go. Shout, boys. Oh, there's some amount of Ederney supporters here tonight. Can you believe that Ederney have won the championship? We'll start with you.
We knew they were going to win.
How did you know they were going to win?
They're the best.
They're the best. And who's the best player out there tonight?
Marty McGrath.
And who do you think was the best player?
Marty McGrath.
Marty McGrath. This is a fan club for Marty McGrath. What about Paul McCusker? And Chris Snow kicked 2 points. Who do you think?
Marty McGrath.
Marty McGrath.
Marty McGrath. Finbar Gillen.
Finbar Gillen. Are you related to Finbar? And how did he come back after getting his jaw dislocated a couple of months ago and play so well, do you think?
Because he plays for Ederney, obviously.
Right. What do you say?
I think it might be
Marty McGrath. Who do you think was the best player? Declan McCusker. Yourself? Who? Chris Snow? Chris Snow and yourself? There you are. Sean? Alright, very good. Well, come here. He's going to celebrate now. He's going to go to school tomorrow. No school. We're going to go and celebrate back in Ederney this evening. Right, well, we now enjoy the celebrations, and thanks for joining.
Thumbs up. Right. Cheers. Declan McCusker, that's a good Sunday evening's work.
Oh, unbelievable, absolutely delighted. Derrygonnelly are starting to completely dominate the county. I didn't know if this day would ever come, but the work our boys put in, and it's just unbelievable. I can't believe it. Absolutely delighted.
I'm sure they're hurt from 2 years ago. It spurred this team on. We seen it in their first game against Fermanagh. Ederney took some hits, but they come back.
Yeah, we did. Like the first goal went in, and to be honest, I still thought, nah, we're all right. Like I know, obviously they're an unbelievable team, but I just was so confident in us today. I think we had the perfect game plan. Dominated most of the first half. Got a bit of a lead, and then it was probably sat in our shell a wee bit in the second half. But when we broke on them, we made it count. Like, and it's just like to beat that Derrygonnelly team's unbelievable feeling.
Time to celebrate, Declan.
Time to celebrate. Thanks very much. Cheers.
That's Declan.
Well,
McCusker,
Dom, that was
captain
Decky McCusker pitch side, and I'm delighted to say that Mark Henry and Malachy O'Rourke are going to join us here again on Fermanagh GA TV. So, Mark, a man that knows an awful lot about the Ederney club, having managed them a couple of years back. I'm sure you're thrilled. Did you enjoy the final?
2015 when I was in Ederney, and Derrygonnelly beat us after a replay in the first round and went on to win their first. I must say I'm just delighted to see those lads that soldiered with me 5 or 6 years ago getting their reward, and by God they earned it this evening.
And a club that was, I suppose, in the doldrums for a lot of years, it has to be said. They were great in the 60s, but then troubled times in the 70s, 80s, 90s, started to build in the early 90s, and today, eventually, all that work has come to fruition.
Absolutely. And look, we were saying earlier on, you know, Ederney have been a top 4 team in Fermanagh now for 8 or 9 years. And they've had an awful lot of knockbacks, setbacks and disappointments, and they've kept chipping away. And you know, I think Marty McGrath epitomised that spirit tonight at 39 years of age. An outstanding first half, and then a very, very steady second half from him to lead that team over the line. It's brilliant for Ederney, and brilliant for the people in Ederney.
And Malachy, it just shows you, you know, we talk about county football, and you've been involved in county football for a long number of years, but it just shows you the importance of club football. The scenes that we witnessed here at the end of this game, I don't think we've ever seen scenes like that in a long, long time.
No, that's right. Now for the Ederney club, it's a great day. 52 years since they last won it. I think Marty's father probably would have been playing at that time, and so they've waited a long time. But no, tonight, looking at the game beforehand, you thought Derrygonnelly were the favourites, had a lot of experience and a lot of things going for them. But once Ederney got the goal, it really settled them into the game, and after that, their hunger, their urgency showed, and they really got on top of things. Going to stand all around the middle of the field with Marty and young McGee doing a good job, and Ryan Jones, and they were a good value for the win. They never looked back, and once Derrygonnelly started pushing up, they were able to exploit them at the back, and the goal finished them off.
And that second goal gave them the comfort zone then to, well, ride the storm out, because Derrygonnelly, like true champions, threw everything at it in those last few moments.
That's right. There's no doubt they kept coming at them, and they kept chipping away, but that goal put that wee bit of daylight between teams, and that's they were never really, unless they got a goal themselves, they weren't going to get back into it. So no, look at it. It was a few dodgy occasions at the end there, but they did enough to get through, and that's all they needed.
Well, I'm going to break off from you, Malachy. Don't go too far away, because down at pitch side is the man of the match, Marty McGrath with Kieran Maguire.
Thank you very much, Ger. I'm joined here with Marty McGrath and his family. Marty, sum up that victory.
Look, it's a long time coming. It's 52 years in the making, and I'm about for 25 of it, so it's just about time that we've got over the line. We've been knocking on the door as a team for 10 years, and look, the 68, 69 team, they're saying they're the best team to come out of Ederney. Thankfully we have something to put alongside them, but I suppose we have a wee bit to make up in the yet.
And how important is it for you, with your dad having the connection to that team? It's running through the family.
Yeah, it's nice to have a medal and a picture maybe to put up beside the one that is in the house. I noticed in the papers yesterday that there was photographs of the McGraths having and the Ederney team of 68. Now, thankfully, tomorrow morning there'll be a photograph of us.
We're also joined by stars of Ederney in future. Dan, how well did Daddy play?
Good, very good.
Very good, excellent. Would you say?
Yeah.
And are you going to be back here winning the cups and winning the championship in the years to come?
Mhm.
And what about the other one?
It's Cassie.
Cassie?
Yes.
Yes.
And
Tom.
Tom.
Yes.
Yeah. How proud are you of Daddy?
Good.
Okay, Marty, we'll let you go back to your celebrations. Thanks very much. Back to Jer.
Yes, indeed, that was Marty McGrath there and his young family, and he'll now talk to the press. I see Kenny Archer from the Irish News meeting up there with father and son, and of course Leonard McGrath was Anthony McGrath, of course, is Marty's father. He was part of that team, Dom, back in 1968, and the McGrath brothers, legendary names of the Ederney club, 7 of them featured in that 68 final, and now to see Marty there out in the pitch with the cup and his children with him, the name McGrath will live long now in the Ederney club, and Marty will go down in history, of course.
All legends around Ederney, and the McGrath name is legendary around Fermanagh. Outstanding servants to club and county, and but it's all right talking about 68, but this is about the 2020, and it's the McGraths, it's the McCuskers, it's the McGees, and every one of them, as we talked about there, as Malachy and Mark referred to as well, every one of the players there stood up tonight. That was the big thing about Ederney, and to beat a team like Derrygonnelly, you needed every one of your players making a contribution, and you couldn't have picked out any player there on that Ederney team who didn't deliver something there for the team tonight. Every one of them played their part, and they were just so worthy of the win.
And their manager is pitch side now with Kieran Maguire. Of course, Mickey Cassidy is the manager, and it'll be very interesting to hear his words here on Fermanagh GA TV.
And we're joined by the victorious Ederney manager, Mickey Cassidy. Mickey, great day for the parish.
Great day for the parish, sure. It's been a long time coming this now, and everybody here enjoyed it, and everybody watching it from at home and all different places in the world.
How much effort have these lads put in the past couple of years?
Since I came back in 2016, I could not complain about one thing. The amount of effort is put in.
They had to put it in to beat Derrygonnelly.
Well, you're coming up again a team that won 5 in a row, a team that pushed Kilcoo to the pin of the colour last year in the club semi-final. We knew when we come here today that we had a big shift to put in to get over the line.
Something that impressed people on the sideline was how Ederney dealt with adversity, conceding a goal earlier on, the injury to Jacob Britton. I suppose it's testament to the panel that Ederney have built in the past couple of years.
It is. Listen, we have players there. We have a panel of players there, and everybody, can come on and do a job at different times. But it's a big testament to the players on the field too, because it was just focus on the next ball,
challenge.
The next challenge. We weren't going to dwell on anything.
And now it's important that the players enjoy themselves, and it was Declan said it there, to try and defend this title.
Yes, it is. Of course. Obviously, there's no Ulster Club Championship of the year. It's been a difficult year for people all throughout the country, and we're hopefully looking forward to next year. It'll be different, hopefully different times. But yes, to go out and defend it.
Well, you've certainly brought a bit of life back into Ederney and a bit of joy to the parish. So Mickey Cassidy, victorious manager of the Ederney team in 2020, Cogorgeous.
Thank you, boys. Thank you.
Back to Jer and Dom.
Mickey Cassidy, and I'm still joined up here in the commentary box by Dom and Malachy and Mark Henry, and of course one of the things I picked up there from what Mickey said was that they are after defeating a team, Derrygonnelly, that were very, very close to beating the Ulster champions Kilcoo last year. And I suppose when you think about it, that's a very, very valid point.
Derrygonnelly have been very, very competitive in Ulster in the last couple of years. And we said at the start, Ederney were going to have to perform brilliantly to win this game. Derrygonnelly will be disappointed with how they perform. You can't take it away from Ederney. Dom said it there. Every single player that was on the pitch for Ederney tonight made a contribution to our team. And we're very, very proud of that.
And disappointed in how they performed, Malachy, but is that down to the fact that Ederney had their homework done, got their matchups right, they were resilient, they would never go away throughout the game?
Yeah, well, that was definitely a big part of it. Although Derrygonnelly would be still very disappointed with the performance. The last night here against Kinole, they missed a lot of chances, but they a lot of urgency about them. They're well organised defensively. They used the ball well. They got into positions and they didn't score. Tonight, I thought even in the first half when they were attacking, they were wasting the ball. They didn't really have much penetration inside. Anything they did get was coming from deep, and that sort of cost them the end. But you look at it, you can take nothing away from Ederney. As Mark said, and we all said Ederney. It was already talking about Ederney had to produce a big performance, and they did. And I just like to add to what the boys said about Marty McGrath. Delighted for Marty to get man the match to play midfield, and Marty has been such a stalwart for club and county for many years, and no better man to lead a team to victory. And just delighted for him and the whole connections there to get his just rewards.
Yeah, and it's a huge boost for clubs that thought that maybe Derrygonnelly were so dominant that maybe they were uncatchable. But there'll be clubs now, the likes of Ballinalek and Connolly and others in the Skilling Gales will now be looking at that tonight and they'll be thinking, well, maybe they're not unbeatable.
Well, that's right, and I suppose after last year, Derrygonnelly did prove themselves and went on and had a run in Ulster. They could have easily got through to an Ulster Cup final, and then they have a number of young players coming through as well. So they had a lot of things going for them, and they did still Connolly are not a common team, and Derrygonnelly were a wee bit better than them on the night here in the semi-final. So a lot of teams were probably looking at it and saying, look, they're going to be hard to topple, but Ederney obviously didn't read the script and they came in, and Ederney had the advantage of being in a final or two before and been knocking about, and look, they took the chance tonight in great style and fair play.
Yeah, well, I referenced the fact that there was a big night for the McGrath family, and we talked there about Marty, and I see pitch side now, I see Eleanor down there along with Anthony down there as well, and they're ready to talk to Kieran pitch side.
A jubilant McGrath family. We have got
Eleanor,
Angela. Anthony, you were there in '68 when Ederney last won the championship. How does it compare to today?
I know it's a long time ago. Football was a wee bit different that time, I suppose it wouldn't be as fast, but I thought that a nice game of football.
This is a victory that's been a long time coming. How happy were you to be in the stand and witnessing this game live today?
Well, what would you expect? Happy, surely. All is football. There's only interest to do have is football, apart from anything else. But Derrygonnelly's no bad team. They have a good name, 6 years.
And Angela, for Marty to get man of the match?
oh sure, that's just a dream, and for them to win, for this man here, because he was on the last team and won, like it was just a dream for Martin, but he can celebrate now with his father and get a photograph of him in the cup again. So
Eleanor, there's going to have to be a bit of space made in the mantelpiece for some pictures.
Plenty of space. We'll put on an extension if we need to. And I just want to say, as for Daddy as well, and great for all the team of 68 to see Ederney lift the cup again in 2020. Daddy is the only member of the 68 team that has a son playing on the current panel. So it's great to see that somebody from the 68 team can say, right, so my son lifted it, or somebody lifted it that had a connection.
After what you're saying now, that's not my fault.
But it's a bit of joy into the parish given the year that it is
badly needed. It's badly needed for the young people. Ederney is a great switch and spent a lot of money and everything else. And there's good young ones coming on. It's badly needed.
We'll leave you to your celebration. Eleanor, Anthony and Angela, thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, that's pitch side there with Eleanor, Angela and Anthony McGrath, and it's brilliant to see the connection between the McGrath still living long and living on the field of play today. I think Marty's the only son of a player that was involved in 1968 to be playing out here today, and I'm delighted now to say that my good friend Chris Snow joins us here in the commentary box. First and foremost, Chris, heartiest congratulations. I know what that means to somebody like you, because you've put so much of your life into the GA and Ederney, and I know what it means to you, but explain it to our listeners.
Hard to explain, Jared. We've been working on this for a long time. I played my first county final in 06 when I was 17, and kind of thought then, here we'll be back and we're coming, and here I'm 14 years later, and we're just go over the line today. So we know the work's went in over the past years for this, and like it means the world to everybody. Like from like I coach under sixes, the under sixes were training yesterday morning, like and they're buzzing and just around the town. It's just been unreal, and let's just hope after the difficult year it is that it just helps the parish and everybody can push on from it.
And it's very emotional, Chris, because to win your first is a huge achievement, and it is an emotional moment for everybody involved.
Like the doubts do creep in, like we have been thereabouts for a number of years, and we were here 2 years ago and we didn't get over the line and we were poor, and you kind of times you do think maybe we aren't good enough, but the boys dug in and we kept going and we've improved and we've learned in areas that we had to improve on, and like to get over the line just for that group of lads like Marty, Decky, Easley, there's boys Decky and Paul that push everything on, like the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes, even from Mickey and that, but that group of players, like they do work their bone and they finally got their just reward today, thank God.
And why do you think today was the day that you got over the line? Because a lot of people would say that you came up against a team that couldn't be beat. So what was different about today?
It's hard to put your finger on it. I think we probably got our tactics well spot on today, and we probably learned a lot from 2 years ago. We learned a lot. We had plans that day and they didn't happen for us when we lost Paul early on. Marty had been carrying an injury in it, and those weren't excuses. We didn't perform, we were beat out the gate, but we learned a lot from that game and we've improved immensely. A few young lads come in that team. Sean was only a cub come in there, he's fitting in that full forward line brilliantly all season for us. He's filled out. Mark McCauley's improved immensely, and then you've young lads like Luke Harness, first game of senior football. He's run about like a Rolls Royce there on the ball. He's breaking up play and linking play. He's been just immense. Lads like that coming in as well, Paul McKervey and other young lads come in and push the whole thing on.
And turning points, there's always turning points in games. There was so many different ones tonight, but in your eyes, was it the penalty? Was it your own couple of frees before half time? Was it the red card? Was it holding Derrygonnelly out them first 10 minutes of the second half and they threw everything at you? What do you believe were the main turning points?
I'd say probably psychologically for ourselves, the penalty was probably a good big turning point for us, because if we wouldn't have got that, then and we didn't chip in the scores, because we had probably missed a few opportunities before that, whereas we're back in it and we had held them like 1-1 was the first half. Our defensive system was working, so we just had to make sure we were punishing them at the far side, and the few frees probably helped, and then I'm sure it helps the lads when they see me come up and able to knock them over, and it eases a bit of pressure and sees that their work's going rewarded up there. I had the post, wasn't too bad.
But come here, on a serious note, what will happen in Ederney the next few days, and what will happen in your life for the next few days? I seen you with your wife Joan and your two kids there a moment ago. It was a lovely moment that I picked up down below us. What will happen, and what's the significance of what has just happened here in Brewster Park tonight?
This is just immense. Like, I can only speak for my own two boys. Like, the youngest just turned 3. Like, we started bringing them after lockdown until the matches, and before no interest in football at all, no real interest, and now just nothing but talk about football. When's Saturday, when's under 6 training, things like that just breeds it, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of partying done the next few days, but hopefully long term it's not just a flash in the pan thing. We want to be back here again next year and competing. We just don't want this to be a 1 year thing. We've had our one. Like, as a club, we're striving to be the best in the county, to be where Derrygonnelly have been, and that's just obviously for more than today, but long term that's what we have to be looking at.
Short term celebrations, long term more trophies. Chris, you've been a rock, you've been a star, you've been a good friend to me throughout my time. Thank you for joining us here on Fermanagh GA TV. Enjoy the celebrations. So as the lights go out here in Brewster Park, the lights certainly, Dom Corrigan, haven't gone out for Ederney St Joseph's. It's the start of a new era, the start of a new dawn for this great club in North Fermanagh.
Oh, definitely so. And as Chris was saying there in that very mature interview he gave, they're determined to make sure that it's not a one-season wonder. But they've been about for the last number of years, and everybody knew that they were knocking on the door, and a really sign of a good team that despite the setbacks they'll come back, and they're worthy champions here tonight. And here it's going to be a big week in Ederney, but I could see this team doing well over the next number of years, because
they're youthful enough.
They have a good mix of experience there and youth, and they'll be hoping Marty McGrath stays on for another 2 or 3 years as well, because he is immense there. He played, as I was saying earlier, he played like a 25-year-old. Like, the man's near 40, and he was absolutely outstanding. And the leadership he gave, and he was back in defence, he was catching ball in midfield. He forced a turnover for the second goal, I think it was, as well. So no, he was outstanding. He carried it. But the thing about them was they had leaders all over the pitch tonight, and those leaders will make sure that Ederney will be back again next year. I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in Fermanagh football over the next 2-3 years.
And no doubt, Mark, you're getting an invite out to Ederney tonight, because you're a part of this, of course. But I'm sure from your perspective, you are absolutely thrilled, because you know these boys inside out. You know what makes them tick.
I do. Look, I am thrilled for them, and it's no flash in the pan. These guys have been building at this for years and years, and the year I was there, the work they put in was absolutely immense. The lads came home Tuesday and Friday to train from Belfast and from wherever they were working, and they did that religiously all year. We were very unlucky that year. Derrygonnelly pipped us and then went on to this period of dominance. But these Ederney players deserve it. There's no doubt about that. They have put in the hard graft, and Chris Snow said it there. They have improved incrementally, bit by bit. They've learned their lessons. When they've had a defeat, they've gone away and they've come back better year after year. And the performance tonight is just reward for all the hard work that's gone on, not just by the players, and again it was referenced by Decky in his speech there. The club, the facilities they have now are second to none as well. They've been led brilliantly by Sean Donnelly as chair, and the whole club, in terms of facilities, in terms of community, and in terms of their senior team, are as good as anything in Fermanagh.
Well, there you are, Malachy. I'll give you maybe the last question, because I say the lights are going out and people are looking to get out of Brewster Park. But Dom alluded to the fact that this Ederney team could be around for a few more years. Do you believe that might be the case, or can you see that Derrygonnelly team, they're young as well, bouncing back very quickly?
Well, there's no doubt Derrygonnelly will be back. They have a lot of young players there. But Ederney, there's no doubt Ederney have a youthful enough setup. If you look at the forwards there, for example, Ryan Morris, Sean Cassidy, Mark McCauley, Paul McCavery, all them boys are young lads in their early 20s. Then you have obviously two McCuskers who bring great experience. Marty obviously is coming near the end, I know, let's put it that way, but he might have a couple of years left. And again in defence, and they probably had a couple of fellas, I think John Irving, Aaron Dennison, were missing this year, and younger lads came in and stepped in there, so it's a massive victory for them, and it's something that they'll hopefully build on. So next year's championship will should be a really tough one, and it's building up to be a good one already.
Well, it's all good for Fermanagh football as well. Guys, it's been a real pleasure. Dom, Malachy, Mark, all the team that have been involved here tonight. There's a number of them around me here. The cameraman, Phil Flanagan, who pulled it all together. Kieran Maguire, who done our pitch side interviews. It's been a real team effort here tonight on Fermanagh GA TV. But the team that we're talking about is the team from Ederney St Joseph's, because they're the team that will now be written indelibly in history of Fermanagh GA. They are the Fermanagh GA Championship winners for 2020, and we congratulate them sincerely for that. So wherever you are in the world, we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast here. It's been a memorable night in so many ways, and until we meet again, probably for next week's junior final between Co and Derry Lynn, if my memory serves me right. And if you're from Ederney, enjoy the celebrations. If you're from Derrygonnelly, hold your head up high. You've been a wonderful team for the last 5 years. And until we meet again, from everybody involved in this production, slán go fóill.